I don't care if the Eagles are not playing on Sunday. Football Friday, baby. How more American can you get than that? A football Friday. And then you have what I call the closing act on Monday with Packers and Eagles. Dude, old school Lambeau Field. It's got a gothic feel to it with the old school. You're taking the Eagles to Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. And legendary Lambeau. Man, in what I think is going to be an important NFC game. So do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. Thank you, guys, for everything, especially yesterday. It's kind of a tough day in the NFL community with what happened with Marshawn Nealand and all the things that are going on now with Antonio Brown. I'm going to get to that in a second here. But, guys, I appreciate it. We are going to talk some Eagle football as we always do. Obviously, we're going to get into some of the games this weekend because they are going to determine the NFC seeding going into next week. By the way, you are not elite. The Eagles are not elite. Those aren't my words. I'll explain in a minute. Those aren't my words. I didn't say that. Okay? Not me. I didn't say that. And by the way, are you under? Hey, let me check one thing before we get going here. Let me check the NFL schedule here. Let me go here and see here. Let me scan down to that Monday night game and let me just take one look. Holy cow. The Green Bay Packers are favored in that football game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And they just lost Tucker Kraft. How's that possible? If you're elite, how are you an underdog heading into that football game? Underdog heading into that football game. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. Howie Roseman getting the benefit of the doubt we got on the ledger. What else do we got here? Oh, yeah, I'm going to get to Antonio Brown here. By the way, Cam Jurgens, we're going to talk about that dude too. And some of the NFL MVP candidates. Hit that like button. We appreciate you here on a Football Friday. Let me say this to you about Antonio Brown. So now he's been extradited back from Dubai. What was he hanging out with the sheiks? I mean, this guy's hanging out with the sheiks. Or I don't know, like he's out there trying to dig for oil wells. I don't know what he's doing, but Dubai, of all places. So he gets extradited back. I was talking to Jason Cole this morning on the morning show, and I'll talk to Armando Salguero about it too. This guy might get his gold jacket in prison. If he's convicted of this is a 15-year charge for attempted murder. He's down in lockup now, and I guess he's on his way to going to Dade County. So he's going to Dade County, and he may actually get a gold jacket in jail. Bro, I'm going to say this to you. As much as you like your boy A.J. Brown, never in a million years is he anywhere in the realm of Antonio Brown. Larry Fitzgerald, who is going to be a Hall of Famer this year, he's not better than him. Of all the wide receivers in 2010s, Antonio Brown's the best wide receiver in that era. In that era. Okay? In that era. He is the best. There is nobody better than that guy during that time. That's how crazy that is. You're damn right it's crazy. AB was that dude. Make no mistake about it, man. He is one of the greatest receivers in the history of the National Football League. I mean, is AJ a great all-timer? Not really, but he is a superstar player. Dude, he's not better than Anquan Bolden. Anquan Bolden has the numbers, the rings. He hasn't done anything more than him. And I think Anquan Bolden is a great player. Okay? I think he's a great football player. No, he's not. He's not even remotely come near the success that AB has. AB is accountable for his actions. Absolutely true. Hey, two things can be true. He can be a lunatic and a great player. Okay? Can be. Silz, this doesn't affect his Hall of Fame chances. It does. I talked to Jason Cole about it today. And Jason says if he is convicted of attempted murder, he's not going to get his vote. Unfortunately, I disagree with that. Okay? I do. I think Jarhead meant the same as AB, like leaving the league like a lunatic. Not sure what you're talking about. Bro, he's nowhere in Antonio Brown's room as a ball player. Okay? He's nowhere in the conversation. Okay? He's a head case. Here, Antonio Brown led the NFL in receptions 3 times, yardage twice, 83. And A.J. Brown will never come near 928 catches or 12,291 yards. He will never come anywhere near that if he finishes his career in Philly. He will never come anywhere near it. Nowhere near it. He has accomplished nothing compared to Antonio Brown. Nothing. And you're in more of a passing era today than you were then. Okay? Just a fact. I'm trying to make a point here. That guy's blowing away a Hall of Fame career and a chance to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay? I mean, he's absolutely just taking a blowtorch to his potential at getting into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What a shame. Nobody that's up right now for the Hall of Fame at wide. Steve Smith's not better than him. And I love Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne's not better than him. Torrey Holt's not better than him. There's nobody better than Antonio Brown that's being considered for the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year. And one of those guys are going to go in, and he'll never go in my opinion. Roethlisberger goes into the Hall of Fame because he's got 2 Super Bowl rings and never had a losing season in his entire career. Hey, Silz, is Hines Ward a borderline Hall of Famer? I do believe so, yes. I mean, I think Hines gets in one day to the Hall of Fame. I really do. Okay? Antonio Brown and A.J. Brown got nothing on Kevin Curtis, greatest Eagle wide receiver ever. Okay. Don't some sports consider off the field part of but not the NFL. There's not a character clause in it. And there's really not a character clause in the baseball Hall of Fame voting. You've got Klans members you have former Ku Klux Klan members that are in the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. Tris Speaker was a Klansman. So when it comes to character, Major League Baseball doesn't have that clause in the contract either, where if you're considering a guy for Hall of Fame status. The dude was being racist to McCoy. Which current Eagles have a shot at the Hall? Well, Lane's going. Probably Hurts next has a shot. I would go Lane, and then I would go Hurts. Still work to do, though, but right now, those two. You're young on defense, dude. Guy plays 1 year, doesn't get an opportunity for me to sit there and say you're a Hall of Fame player. Okay, Mailata, I don't know, maybe. Jordan Mailata doesn't have a lot of Pro Bowls right now. Oh, Mike Evans is – AB's not making it. Mike Evans is not better than Antonio Brown. Am I wrong? What's the story with – I love Hurts, but I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I said that he's got a shot. I didn't say he was. Giants are 100% firing Brian Dable sooner than later. Larry Fitzgerald is not better than Antonio Brown. Guys, hit the like button. Let's get those likes up. Thank you very much. We're going to get into the topics here in a minute. I just wanted to start out by, dude, this guy, Antonio Brown, being extradited back to the States. I want to put things into context of what A.J. Brown is going through. A.J. Brown wants to have the numbers that Antonio Brown has. That's what he's looking for. Got a ring, get your numbers, get your gold jacket, right off into the sunset. He's got the ring. He's got some numbers. His numbers are not that impressive. A.J. Brown's numbers are not that impressive in a throwing era. They're just not that impressive. They haven't been consistent enough. Dude, there's a lot of guys with big numbers ahead of him that didn't play in an era of throwing the ball. I know I got a lot of people saying that A.J. Brown is not a Hall of Fame player. Barkley is not a Hall of Fame player. Barkley had a Hall of Fame year. Okay? Bugging what? I'm giving you reality. I work with these Hall of Fame guys. I know what they're looking at. You think it's about playing on the Eagles, and that makes you a Hall of Famer. No, it doesn't. AB had a chance to be on the Mount Rush. Yes. Like he's in the room with Terrell Owens. No, he's not. Bro, they're halfway through their. He's 28. How old is A.J. Brown? Let me see. A.J. Brown, halfway through his fucking career. He's 28 years old, I believe. A.J. Brown. Or he's 27. Let's see how old A.J. Brown is. A.J. Brown's 28. He's halfway through his fucking career. Oh, what a dumb comment. Halfway through his career. Be out of the league by the time he's 33. This guy's got 4 years left, guy. AJ needs to leave Philadelphia if he wants the numbers for a Hall of Famer. Bingo. Bingo, my friend. AB, you see in Florida, hear gunshots, nothing changes. Okay? Hey, Jay Brown, I just want to tell you, we paid you for the talents already. You're not playing for a contract. We already paid you for your talents. We paid you to help us win, not to get your numbers. Okay? Fair enough. He wants both. Okay? Absolutely not. With who? That offense? That hangs out in the 20s? Yeah, nice try, guy. Nice try. Silz is Metcalf, a Hall of Famer. You talking Terry Metcalf? Terry Metcalf was a good ball player when he played for the St. Louis Cardinals. That Metcalf? AJ's been all pro under Jalen Hurts. Doesn't have the numbers. Guy's 28 years old. For that 31, dude, 4 years will be 32. And on the back end, by the way, he's not going to have a great year this year. He's not. By the way, I guarantee you, after you deal him in the offseason, I'm with Farzetta. I don't believe he's on the 26 team. He'll fucking hate his guts, so don't worry about it. Silz, what about Dickerson? I think his injuries are starting to hurt him. I do. I think they're starting to pile up. I think he's a heck of a football player. Would you say anyone on the current day Eagles is a Hall of Famer? Lane, by sure, is a Hall of Famer. Or DK Metcalf. I said Terry Metcalf. No, I don't think he's DK. A.J. Brown is better than DK Metcalf. Okay? Yeah, he is. As a matter of fact, the modern day wide receivers, I don't think Tyreek Hill's a Hall of Fame player. I think Devontae Adams is going to have a tough putt. Let's see. I think Jefferson's getting in. I think Chase will have a tough time. I think he'll have a lot of yards, but he'll have 0 wins because he's in Cincinnati. Okay? Puka Nacua, maybe. Did Puka win that? Was he on that Super Bowl team with Brady when they won the Super Bowl? Because if he's got a ring, I think that helps him a lot. Okay? Here, get this. He says these are opinions. These are not facts. The guy hanging out at 142 in reception yards is not in the next 4 years going to get into the top 20, folks. These are not opinions. These are facts. There's a mountain of wide receivers ahead of him and more accomplished receivers ahead of him. Antonio Brown is a more accomplished player. These are facts, not opinions. Yeah, Evans and Jefferson probably, yes, you're right. No, I don't think Cooper Kupp is a Hall of Fame player. Not at all. CeeDee Lamb? We get there because of Dak. CeeDee Lamb will get there because he's a Cowboy, not because of Dak. Puka has only been in the league 3 years. Okay, well, then, he still needs, I would think he needs a ring. One thing I would tell AJ, watch out for what you wish for. Going to the Jets, right? If you get traded, there's no guarantee you're going to get your numbers or win a Super Bowl with, say, the team like the Patriots. Well, I think the Patriots got a pretty good game this weekend and will tell us a lot because they're playing the Bucs. Too early on him. Way too early. Devontae Adams' years with Aaron Rodgers was crazy. Now he's with Stafford. He will get to the Hall of Fame, just facts. Well, maybe. I think he's probably in that conversation because of the numbers. I don't believe he has a Super Bowl ring. I think that would help him and solidify that. Again, remember what I do. I work on 7 Hall of Fame panels, which means guys like Jason Cole, Armando Salguero, these are why we're very close to them. They ask me who I would take out of the final 5 guys or the final 15 guys who I think are Hall of Famers. And I give them my opinion who I think are Hall of Fame players. That doesn't mean they take my opinion and apply it. They just take who I think is a Hall of Famer. Like I never thought Leroy Butler, the secondary guy for the Packers, I thought that was a joke. I don't think Jason Taylor's a Hall of Fame player, but they put him in. I never thought Jason Taylor for the Miami Dolphins was a Hall of Fame football player, and he coaches our D-line down with the University of Miami. I like him a lot, but I never thought he was a Hall of Fame guy. I don't think Fred Dean's a Hall of Fame football player. Silz, is Barkley a Hall of Fame caliber talent? Yes. Saquon Barkley falls into the category of he's a Hall of Fame talent. Unfortunately, he is the Archie Manning of today. He spent the majority of his career in his prime in a shitty New York Giants organization. Archie Manning was a Hall of Fame talent, but he was in the Saints organization. He actually won an MVP award. Barkley's a Hall of Fame talent. He just doesn't have a Hall of Fame career. You can have that. Hey, sometimes it's where you're drafted, man. Dude, Archie Manning, right? Tell him, Yale. He won the most valuable player award on an 8-8 team. He never had a year where he was above 500 his entire time in New Orleans. As a matter of fact, Archie Manning was probably better than Eli as a player. Archie Manning was a modern-day dual-threat guy. But because he played in a shitty team and on a shitty organization with the Saints, I mean, it's where you get drafted. Bo Jackson is the greatest athlete running back I've ever played against. I've never seen anything like it. And my wife, when she talks about Bo, she's right. When you look at him head up and you see how big he is and how tall he is, his legs don't look that big. You get him to the side, this guy's got thoroughbred legs. Like, they're wider than your body. And he runs a 4-flat 40 at 245 pounds. I've never seen anything like him. He's just one of the most gifted players I have ever seen in my entire life. By the way, hit the like button, guys. We appreciate all of you here. Thank you so much. All right. So let's start it off here. Hey, my point with that exercise was not to demean AJ. I'm telling you, he's got a lot of guys ahead of him when it comes to consideration for the Hall of Fame. And this is what he's complaining about. This is what he's concerned about. Hey, man, the midnight oil's burning on his career. He knows this. And that's why he wants more targets, more numbers, more whatever, so that he can solidify his shot, at least to knock on the door to go to Canton. AJ's number one priority right now is to go to Canton. His second priority is to get a Super Bowl ring. I think last year, the number one priority was to get the ring. Hey, listen, do goals change in your lives? Once you have, hey, well, let me ask you this. In your lives, you too, Xander, in your lives, when you accomplish one thing, don't you change your goals? Your goals don't stay the same, do they? Don't you expand your goals? Don't you want to expand them? Hey, I want this too now. How many times you hear Lane Johnson? Listen, if you hear Lane Johnson saying, I was upset that I didn't make first team All-Pro, what makes you think Antonio Brown's any different, or excuse me, A.J. Brown's any different than Lane Johnson? Lane Johnson knows the All-Pros are going to help him get to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You guys, you listen to Lane, and you're okay with it. You listen to A.J. Brown say it, and you got a problem with it. And by the way, I don't have a problem with his goals. Silz, was the early 2000s quarterback room the best of all time with Manning, Brady, Big Ben, Rodgers, Breeze, Rivers, Warner, and Favre? Absolutely. I think this current crop of quarterbacks right now, I think they're very young. But to sit there and tell me you think these guys are going to be better than Manning, Brady, Big Ben, Rodgers, Breeze, Rivers, Warner, Favre, every single one of those guys won a Super Bowl except for Phillip Rivers. Every one of those guys won a Super Bowl and multiple Super Bowls. That was the greatest time in this league for Super Bowls by quarterbacks. The Manning, Brady, Big Ben, Rodgers, Breeze, Rivers, Warner, and Favre era. All those guys were spectacular Hall of Fame players. And Rivers is a Hall of Famer. And you hit the quarterback more. And you were developed as a player better than you are today. Okay? You know, Silz, when I don't have an agenda, dude. I do topics. Agenda? You take me for being smarter than that. I don't have an agenda. Been doing this shit for 40 years, guy. Agenda? There's no fucking agenda. It's just topics. Relax, kid. Agendas in the political arena or political talk. They have agendas. I don't have agendas. Silz's top is Favre top 5 ever. Brett Favre is a guy. My wife said something about Brett Favre that I loved. She goes like this to me. She goes, I'll tell you what, I've never seen a guy that's more entertaining to watch than that guy play quarterback. She went to a game. It was the Raiders and the Packers. I'm doing the pregame show for the Raiders. I was on the pregame broadcast team for the Raiders. My wife comes out of the stands and she's like, you know what? I'll tell you this, man. Favre's one of the most entertaining quarterbacks I've ever seen play. Just tremendous. Tremendous. But this is what you got with Favre. 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was just a great, entertaining quarterback to watch play. Just tremendous. That was a great era. All right. So do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button here. Aren't you at the mercy of circumstances more than anything when it comes to being a Hall of Famer? Absolutely. You go to a football team that's a shitty organization. This is what I try to explain to many of you, that Jalen Hurts has been benefited by going to the Eagles. What if Jalen Hurts was drafted by the Jets? He'd be out of the league. Or he'd be a journeyman like Sam Darnold. How many people agree with this? If Jalen Hurts had been drafted by the Jets. You want to hear this about Woody Johnson? He's owned the team for 25 years. The Jets haven't made the playoffs in 12 years. Half of the time that he's owned the Jets, they haven't been to the playoffs. What does that tell you? So if Jalen Hurts had gone to the Jets, he'd be Sam Darnold. Prince don't want to hear that. Sam Darnold's killing it right now because he was in a bad organization. Prince don't want to hear that. That bad coaching, bad talent, bad everything around him. He thinks Hurts would have overcame the Jets. Nobody has overcome the Jets. You think there's any coincidence that Sam Darnold is murdering it in Seattle right now? And he killed it last year when he had good coaching? Of course not. You guys will just think you're killing it. He is killing it. Did you play against? No, I never played against that. That's way before my time. OJ was one of the great. Hey, I know people don't like this conversation. OJ Simpson is one of the top 4 running backs to ever play in pro football's history. OJ is one of the greatest backs to ever play. Is he a scumbag? Yeah. Did he kill those people? Yeah. 2 things can be true, can't they? So the guy's a lowlife. Okay. Was the guy a great player? Yeah. Oh my God, don't tell the full story. I know people in today's society, what they like to do is erase the past and not tell the full story of America. They want to glaze over and take statues and everything down and try to forget what got us where we are. Hey, there's 2 parts of the story. Some good, some bad. That our history books, when we were raised, they never told you about the American Indians. They wanted to erase that. That was flaws in how we were educated as kids. Let's not tell that. Well, guess what? Same thing with OJ. OJ's a bad dude. OJ was a great ball player. According to Silz, Jalen Hurts does have a bad coach in Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni will be replaced the same way Doug Peterson and Andy Reid were in Philadelphia. They're interchangeable parts. You've gone to Super Bowls with 3 different head coaches. The one thing that has been a consummate has been the GM, not the coaches, not the quarterbacks, not the assistant coaches. This guy won't ever get that. He thinks there's a new culture in Philly under Nick Sirianni. Whatever, dude. Huh. And answer what question? Seals, why has Carson Wentz failed everywhere else he has gone? It goes both ways. Okay, well, I'll ask you the question. Why did Nick Foles fail every place he went except Philly? Because he had good coaching and he had a great organization. Thank you, I guess. Once again, the parrot known as Prince. Seals, the Jets would have had Jalen out of the league, correct, because they wouldn't have had the patience. They can't develop quarterbacks. Their media is slanderous against their players. 1,000% true. As a matter of fact, Nick fails too. Wait, I know he failed. I just said that. Nick was a Pro Bowler in Philly when he went for 26 TDs and 2 picks. Came back, won an MVP. Went to the Bears, the Jags, the Colts, and sucked. Why is that? Bad organizations, Brent. Spend my point the entire time. I try to tell you where you get drafted matters. And why Hurts is in a lucky position because of the draft and the luck of the draft. That's it. The way it is. Some people like Joe Burrow go to the Bengals, and some people like Jalen Hurts go to the Eagles. Same thing with Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman goes to the Jimmy Johnson Cowboys, and Phillip Rivers goes to the shitty Chargers. Happens. It's the luck of the draft. I mean, Sills, what is it like playing your first game with a new team? What is Jaylen Phillips going to prepare? Now, here, I think he's going to be an impact player Monday night. And I don't think there's going to be anything out of the realm that he's not going to be asked to do that he can't do. And I'll say this to you. I think and you don't have to worry about a ramp up because he's been playing all year and he has been in shape. So I think it just depends on what they give him in the front packages on what they're going to ask him to do. Listen here, man. You may not have to address your edge in the draft coming up in April. Okay? Silz, my great use of my father's line, there's a reason the same teams pick. Yes. Kyle, there's a reason that the same teams pick at the top of the draft every fucking year. Bad ownership, bad teams, bad management. Absolutely true. That's why the Jags are at the top. It's why the Jets and the Browns are at the top. You get drafted to one of those teams, facts. This is not opinion. You think if you get drafted if you're a quarterback, let me ask you this. If you're a quarterback in today's NFL and you're coming out of college and you get drafted by the Jets, what do you think the chances are? Okay, this goes into the conversation with Jalen Hurts as well. Some of you like Prince or Reyes will never get. And it's okay. It's because you don't want to get it. If you get drafted to the Bengals or the Jets, what do you think the chances of you having a great career winning the games and having great talent around you are? 0. 0. Nick went to the Rams, bad organization, right? Yeah, with Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher did not have a winning record his last 10 years in the NFL. Let's take a look at Marshall. And you tell me if he thinks when Nick Foles was there with Jeff Fisher, and let's take a look at the Rams under Jeff Fisher. Rams, year to year record. Let's take a look at that because I want to have a double check here and make sure here that we're not, and I appreciate the super, my friend. There's Jeff Fisher, 7-8-1, 7-9-0, 6-10, 7-9, all under Jeff Fisher. How do you think that was a good organization then? You think the Rams were a good organization then? Didn't have a winning year there. By the way, if I'm not mistaken, they had somebody else in the room there too. I think it was Foles and someone else. And he got rid of both of them. I mean, you're making it sound like this was pre-Stan Kroenke too, by the way. Was it not? Okay, right? I mean, here. So wait, 4-12 was his last year. 7-9, 6-10, 7-9, 7-8-1. Marshall will try to tell you it's a good organization. Okay. What happened? Would Rice be a Hall of Famer with Hurts? Rice would figure it out. You just conveniently left out the Rams. You just conveniently left the Rams out. I know you glazed them. I just told you. They weren't owned by the same people then. That was Georgie Fournier that owned it. Stan Kroenke now with Les Snead and Kevin Demoff are a completely different organization. They never had a winning record under the time when Jeff Fisher was there. Jeff Fisher wasn't a good coach. He was actually the guy that shit all over Jared Goff when they drafted him number 1. And that's why they fired him. They brought Sean McVay in and went to the Super Bowl with him. You conveniently left that out. Okay? Right at what? They never had a winning year there. How? Big Marsh right at what? They never won. The entire time Fisher was the head coach of the Rams, they never had a winning record. They were never good. They were never a good team. They were not a good organization. Now that you've had the Cronkies, 6-2, 10-7, 10-7. The down year they had to pay all the money back for all the free agents. 12-5, Super Bowl win, 10-6, 10-6, 13-3, 11-5, all under McVay. I don't know. They're pretty good right now. You conveniently forgot that too. The thing is, there's only a few quarterbacks I think that could actually finish the job with our roster. So you don't think that a quarterback that could throw the football would improve and utilize the offensive talent more that's in the passing game? So you think that every quarterback in the league would have the passing game down at the bottom of the league still? Is that right? Okay. Maybe that's what he's being asked to do. All right. Still got to have a quarterback not make critical errors. Correct. Hey, Silz, what are your thoughts on Sanders and the Browns? They're not going to make any right decision. It's Jimmy Haslam. It's Jimmy Haslam. That's right. Philosophy of organizations. Hey, by the way, some of the things that the Eagles do I don't like. That doesn't mean they're not successful. Okay? That doesn't mean that. See, this guy here, I'll answer it like a professional. I don't give a fuck about this guy. Again, it really doesn't matter. Jerry Jones has pretended to be a good GM, and he's pretended to be Jimmy Johnson for 31 years. If he was so good at building those dynasties back in the day, why hasn't he done it again? Howie has. Ozzie Newsome did. Why hasn't he? Why hasn't he done it? Because it wasn't him. Everyone, he's trying to change the narrative of those Super Bowl runs 30 some odd years ago. Okay? He's trying to change the facts. Facts are Jerry Jones hasn't done anything correct when it comes to building his football team. Overvalues his talent. And if he's so good, why does he only have 9 wins in 30 years? If he's so good at picking talent and picking coaches, why hasn't he done it in 30 years? Does anybody know? Silz, me personally, I feel comfortable with Phillips and Hunt at edge rushers, with Smith rotational. Yeah, I think that's a really good-looking future. Okay? I mean, yes. Let's see here. Salary cap hit. Couldn't get away no more. That's right. Listen, Jerry Jones is not a good football guy. He didn't create and make the 3 Super Bowls. You had a great general manager. You had a great head coach. He was the guy that put those 3 Super Bowls in the room for you. You got to have people who know what they're doing for you to be able to go forward, don't you? Jerry pretends he knows what you're doing. Silz, not that you're not busy enough, is it? But please take out a second or two and really give Scanner McKee a good look over. He's our best option. If I had to put my life on him, I'd tell you the same. How about this? I think Tanner McKee, watching him play last year a couple times, I think he shows some great things in the pocket. I think he is smart, Stanford kid. You see him being able to see the field. By the way, there's better skill set things that he has that Jalen Hurts will never have. And there's things that Hurts does that Tanner McKee will never have. Tanner McKee will never be a movable, mobile guy. And in today's salary cap era, having mobile guys, would you not agree, underdog? In today's salary cap era where you're losing players, okay, isn't it best to have a mobile guy? Because you may lose guys in the O-line. You may lose a receiver. I need a mobile guy. I can't really have a drop back guy. Stafford has suffered from that. How many times has Matthew Stafford suffered when they don't have a good O-line? He gets nailed in the pocket and takes sacks. You've got to have a mobile guy in today's game. I think that can get away from pressure because, look, the Eagles have 18 new guys on their football team this year from a year ago. 18 new guys. The Bucs have 19. When you get every year that kind of turnover, that's almost half your fucking active roster. You've got to have a mobile quarterback to be able to move around, in my opinion. In today's NFL, hit the like button, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of belief in Tanner. Yeah, but I'm not putting Tanner in there right now. Here's what I would finish up with you, my friend. I'm not putting Tanner McKee in a huddle, even if Hurts is limited. I'm not putting him in that. That team is built for Jalen Hurts, not Tanner McKee. He would have to have some adjustments. I think Tanner McKee with that O-line would get killed. Tanner McKee with last year's O-line would be a star. This O-line, you need Hurts. Hurts is going to run out of trouble when there's pressure. So that's the difference in the two. That's the latitude I think Jalen gives you. In today's NFL, I think you got to be a mobile guy because of free agency. A mobile quarterback that isn't shaped like a toothpick. Yeah, no, you got to have a guy who's a stout. Jalen's stout to the ground, man. He may not be the tallest guy on the planet. He's a big dude. You're just not going to knock that guy out of games. He's pretty tough too, man. You give him a lot of credit. I mean, look, you're watching with Jaden Daniels. Good news on Daniels. It's not severe. His elbow injury, so he may come back this year. So that's good, in my opinion, for the Commanders and their future. I don't even know if I bring the guy back. Okay? So I'm starting to think the Commander organization are fool's gold organization. Listen, I think Adam Peters is a really good general manager. Would you not agree with me, Samuel? They've had 25 years that got to dig out of a shitty organization with Daniel Snyder. They got a lot of work to do ahead of them. Why? And as I told Xander and everybody at the beginning of the year, they had to get free agents and older free agents. Why? There were so many misses in the draft. The Jahan Dotsons of the world, all the fucking guys that they had to get rid of those guys. They had to get under the cap. They have to get rid of some of the guys, so they had to bring in older dudes and gamble. Because of all the 25 years of mistakes of Daniel Snyder's guys. Do you not see that? Surely he's only been a GM 2 years, and he's already got an NFC Championship appearance. I think give the guy a little more time. Okay? Look at the Cowboys and Packers game. They ended in a tie, and the Packers had the so-called best rusher in the game. Fuck out of here with these overrated players. Well, we'll find out Monday how overrated they are, or if you're overrated. So we'll find out Monday. It's great to talk like that here on a Friday. We'll see Monday. That's the best thing about the NFL. Let's go play 60 and let's tee it up on Monday. Jalen has to take off with his legs to make up what he misses with his eyes and arm. Well, he's not. Listen, he's not that great a passer. Hey, let me tell you this. Let me get into this topic here. Dick Vermeil says the Eagles aren't an elite team right now. He was on WIP, and he said that the Eagles aren't an elite team right now. I agree with him. They're not elite. I don't know there's any elite team in the NFC right now. Dick Vermeil said that. Dick Vermeil loves Jalen. He loves Nick. Dick Vermeil said the Eagles are not elite. And I don't think they are either. Elite was a year ago. That's elite. This is nowhere near that. If you're just going to use the benchmark of last year, not even in the room, that was elite. Get this. So, former NFL guy and a former coach of the Eagles can go fuck off, but he thinks they are. Okay. Congratulations to you, kid. I'm sure you know what you're talking about. I agree. I don't think there's one elite team in the NFL this year. I do not. Hey, Silz, Jalen Hurts isn't a good passer, but he's top 5 in passer rating, and your offensive passing team is 25th? Explain that. He's in the top 5 in taking sacks. Your passing offense the last 2 years has been 27th and 26th. Explain that. Hey, when you throw the ball 18 times a game, guy, and you're throwing out passes and you're throwing to 5-yard passes, yeah, you're going to have a high percentage. You just stated half the roster is new. Well, here. I said almost. I said there's 18 new players on your team. So let's just take that theory, because that's kind of the average. Let's see how many players are on your 53-man roster that are fucking new. So you said half the roster, Silz. So let's go here. I want to be accurate for people. So let's see how many new people you have on your roster, your 53-man roster this year. Okay? Sam Howell's new, 1. Tank Bigsby's new, 2. A.J. Dillon, 3. Let's see here. Granson, new. Let's see here. Britt Toth, 5. This is going to be too easy. Kendall, 6. Let's see here. Ty Robinson, 7. Jod Campbell, 8. Samia Munden, 9. Do you really want me to do this? Do you really want me to continue? Okay. You don't throw a lot when you're winning. Okay. Really? Well, all right. So then your quarterback will always be down there at the bottom, and that's what AJ's bitching about. All right. Coach JB saying we don't see most quarterbacks throw into the teeth of the defense is so true. Well, unless you're a guy that like Matthew Stafford or somebody like that. So Adam Peters is a great GM, but I don't trust the owner. Well, Josh Harris, you guys have a lot of success with that. Okay. Let's see if he throws for 30 touchdowns. Highly unlikely. Maybe Dotson can make another interception. Best running back in the league isn't Barkley. It's CMC. I know last year people kept telling me that Barkley is a better talent than Christian McCaffrey, which is so far from the truth. And the guy in Atlanta is a great back too. Bijan Robinson, spectacular dual threat. Barkley's not. Barkley had a great year and is a wonderful ball player. To sit there and say that he's had a better career than McCaffrey is lunatic. Christian McCaffrey is up for the MVP award this year. It's not the quarterback play that's keeping them 6-2. Tim, what do you think about Caleb Williams? Threat in the NFC? I don't think this year. I think the Bears, in my opinion, I don't believe they're there yet. I think they're – by the way, Mike North will join us at 4:30. Legendary Philly Godfather and our friend Xander Krause will join us at 3:30. I don't know why people care about what people think, good or bad, about the Birds. All we should care about is results. Okay? Not a problem with that. Silz, if the run game improves and we put together a pass rush, would that put us in the elite category? Curtis, I don't know if you were here yesterday. I said this to you. If you improve these 2 areas in the second half of the season, Third down offense, third down defense. This is where you were exceptional last year. This year, you're terrible. And that will bite you in games with good teams. If you improve those two areas, your football team will be elite. Any team that's great in third down, take a look at it. The Eagles are 27th in third down in defense, and they're like 27th in offense in third down. You can't get off the field, and you're 3 and out. You lead the NFL in 3 and outs. Silz, do you think the career life expectancy of a quarterback will decrease now that they are less drop back and more dual threat? I think also they're getting paid more. Why should a guy play 25 years when he's getting paid $50 million? Would you? I mean, I think that's why you see more people on the injury list than you do back when players played in my era. Guys in my era were making $500,000 to $1 million a year. Now they're making anywhere from $60 million to $50 million to $40 million, defensive players. Why would you stay on the field if you've got any kind of nagging injury? You wouldn't. I wouldn't. Playing through injury when I'm making $40 million? Why? So I could put bad tape up for people to see and accuse me of losing a step like A.J. Brown? A.J. Brown is actually right not to go in games. Why? He doesn't want to put bad tape up so that people like Howard Eskin can make a comment that he's lost a step. Players today are afforded a different way of handling injuries. They don't have to play through injuries. They don't. I mean, you get paid big money, $25, $30 million. Are you playing through injury when you don't have to? Why would I? Especially with signing bonuses. Why would I fucking do that? Why would I? Well, if I've got a knee injury or like a knee sprain and it's a disability kind of injury for me to go out there and be an effective pass rusher, why would I play? So people can go, he's not good enough anymore. No, what just hurt? Well, it's part of it, right? Fuck that. I'm not going out there and doing that either. Collecting my money. And when I'm healthy and I'm 100% healthy, I'll go out and play. That's what Lamar Jackson does. My projection for next year, we need an interior offensive lineman and secondary help. Need a corner, tight end. You're right. I'll take that, Kyle. So get this. This is what this guy fucking just heard. I don't want anything. I'm telling you what it is, douchebag. So Silz wants the NFL guys to act like NFL guys. That's not what I said. I said they're getting paid more money now. That's why they're being and not playing through it. I never said that. I never said any of this. He just made this shit up. I said the reason that players today don't play through injuries is because they're getting paid more. You don't listen, senor. You're assuming that I agree with that philosophy. I'm telling you that's what they do. That's why you see more players on the injured list. Nobody here fucking said that. You made that up just now. Silz, follow. Do you think that is why the development is lesser now? That they're getting paid? Yeah, absolutely. You don't fucking listen. I never said that. Everyone gets paid more every year. Inflation. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm telling you, if you're getting paid more, you don't have to fucking play through injury because you're getting paid more. Players aren't going to play longer because they're making $50 million a year versus back in the day where guys were making $100,000. You're going to play through that. Bro, you're in a different world. I'm not even talking what you're talking about. Unbelievable. Hurts is, I don't give a shit about that. And I don't care about that either. Affordability. Absolutely true. All right. So let's get to a topic here. By the way, guys, thank you very much on this Football Friday. Thank you again. Please hit the like button. So, what side of the football, in your opinion, do you think will play better in the second half of the season? What side of the ball will play better in the second half of the season? Who? Hard to tell. Okay? Offense? Okay. Sue says defense. See. Defense. Okay. Couple more. Defense. Okay. All right. Let me take a look at something here. Okay. Explain this to me. Let's start with the offense, and then we'll go with the defense. Okay? Let's start with the offense. I want you to explain this to me. Like I'm a kid. Do we agree all of the star players and all the high-priced players are on the offensive side? Correct? The money side of the football team is the offense. Okay? Do we agree? That's where all the money is. There's barely any money on that side of the ball. Okay, no shit. Let's keep that up there for a second. No shit, says Eagle. Okay. I want you to explain this to me then. Explain it to me like no shit. So you got all your money, you got all your big guns, and you got everything on that side of the ball. And this is going to tell me a little bit on who's going to play better in the second half of the season, offense or defense. The Philadelphia Eagles offense is 24th ranked in total offense right now. Their passing game is 24th. Their run game is 19th. Let's go one more with scoring. Tenth. Third down. That's 3 and outs. They're 28th. Why are these numbers so bad? Thank you, Michael. Why are these numbers so bad? All the money, all the stars. Why are these numbers so bad? Anybody. I'll listen to anyone. O-line struggles. Oh, wait a minute. You're paying like $100 million in offensive linemen. Wait, you're one of the healthiest teams in the league. Why are you underachieving? By the way, I'm open to anybody. O-line struggles. Well, shit. Let's see. You pay $100 million for that offensive line. Loving the vibes around Phillips. The kid loves being here. He's excited to be an Eagle. Really is. Thanks for the super, brother. So it's Patullo. Okay. You tell me. No, I'm asking the question here to you. And then I'll give you my take on who's going to play better in the second half. Offense ain't getting better. You're who you are. You think you're going to magically, because you had a fucking Giants game, turn it up and be some sort of gigantic. You're not getting better. The only side of the ball that's going to get better is that defense, because there's no expectations on them. There were no expectations on Joshua Uche or Jahad Campbell or Moro Jomo. There were expectations on Carter. Reid's underperforming. Q's a good player, great player. Coop's a great player, getting better. You're underachieving at one corner. You've made 9 trades since the beginning of the fucking season. The side of the ball that's going to get better is your defense, because there were no expectations on them. I don't have a problem where you are. You're 20th. I thought you'd be between 15 and 20. I said it in the offseason. As a matter of fact, I'm not upset with it where they are. I actually think I'm seeing signs of improvement. I'm not seeing any signs of improvement. People are raving over the Giant game. I'm not raving over any of that. It still was, again, you were in a position. The Giant game was the first game you handled the football team that you should handle. Every other game was been a one-score game. The Giants game is the first time that you outscored your opponent. Why is that? The defensive side of the ball, in my opinion, is going to be the side that's going to show more improvement. Now, this comes up with if you can improve third down. Bro, you only need one part of that. That offense needs one thing to click and to make it happen. You know what that is? You need to improve on third down. Let's see if this guy here knows what the fuck he's talking about. Be very interesting. Silz, use your brain. I asked the question. He says use your brain. Okay. Of course the offense is going to get better. I don't believe it is. Based on what? Based on what? The Giant game? Or is this a theory? People are starting to get healthier? Like who? Who on offense is getting healthier? The O-line's getting healthier? I just heard Cam Jurgens is out. I mean, you're coming out of a bye and you lost your center. Just curious. Use your brain. The side of the ball that's going to get better is your defense. I think the addition of adding Jaylen Phillips is going to be an incredible addition to your team. And I think it's going to help your third down defense. Once again, this all comes down to whether or not your offense can improve on third down. Aren't teams going up and down all year? Look at a Bronco offense not being able to handle the Raiders last night. Hey, Senor, did you hear this stat, guys? Last night, for the first time since like the 70s, there were more penalties than first downs in a ball game. That thing was unwatchable last night. That was unwatchable. Bro, Broncos aren't better than the Eagles. Broncos, I mean, they're not better. They had a good day. They're not better. I refuse to believe the Denver Broncos are better than you. No fucking way. I played you in a Super Bowl. I think you knocked the pants off them dudes. Silz also never said the offense wouldn't get better. That wasn't the question. The question was which unit would improve more. Correct. Yeah, I'm not going to say they're not going to get worse. And I do think they will get better on third down. If that O-line can open up the holes, that will help that. I think that defense has more possibilities of getting better than the offense. Bro, your offense is what it is. You keep telling me, and get this, I knew it as the week went on in the bye. You dismissed the Giant loss and you gave more credit to the Giant win and how you beat them. And you're looking at it like, well, then you start adding the bullshit divisional opponent thing. I don't give a shit if you play the Giants every week. The Giants should never be in your conversation because of the talent level. Last year, it didn't matter when you fucking lined up against them and pointed and said, I'm going right there, and you knocked them off the ball and kicked the shit out of them. Now you're making excuses up and going, well, it's a divisional opponent, and that's why we split with a shitty Giant team. It's really obnoxious. That's obnoxious conversation. It's the glazed donut Philly effect. It's totally the glazed donut Philly effect. Well, they're a division of. Hey, since when did that ever matter last year when you beat the shit out of that team and you told them where you were running? Give me a fucking break. Nobody. Oh, wait. I think Seattle's pretty good. I don't believe Green Bay never get this. Have you ever heard me say Green Bay's a threat to the Eagles? Have you ever heard me say that? Have you ever heard me go, Green Bay is a threat to Philly? This year, have you heard me go, hey, look out for Green Bay? Have you ever heard me say that? I'm not sold on that football team either. I saw Carolina get physical with them and take a BTA. That was a BTA last Sunday. Belt to ass. They beat their ass up front, both sides of the football. I think if Philly can't do what Carolina did on Monday night, well, the league is more wide open than I thought. If you can't beat that team up like Carolina beat them up. You heard Wayne Larrivee on the program. They were more dominant and more physical than the Packers were. If you can't do that, I'm not going to say this about Philly. They're not in the conversation to be a Super Bowl contender. That's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the league is more wide open than I thought. Okay? Here, Silz, you're so wrong about the Redskins. They're old and helpless. Gabe, put it in context. I said that the Washington Redskins had to go and get free agent older players. Because why? The last 25 years, they have missed massively on draft picks. They had no choice. They were the 29th ranked O-line last year. That's why they traded for Tunsil. What are you going to do? Put a guy in there that's in his second year off a practice squad? You're missing the point. They were not in any other position but to do exactly that. They had to sign older free agents. Bro. Or what they were going to do is sign practice squad guys. Pick one. That guy owned that team and drove that franchise into the ground for over 30 years of owning the team. Years of bad picks. Adam Peters had to go in there and sign older players. That's not an excuse. Those are fucking facts. They are the Redskins. Only woke-ass dumbasses do that shit and call them the Commanders. Ooh, no. Wormy and soft, and you hide under your desk. if you don't call them the Redskins. Go hide under your desk. Must be a racist. Go hide under your desk. Oh, real quick. All you ESPN lovers with all of your woke-ass shows that are on that thing, ESPN getting a nice taste of the American consumer likes YouTube more than you there, honey. ESPN's getting her ass kicked by YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Consumers choose YouTube more than ESPN. How you doing? What a blow to all those egomaniacs over there who think their shit doesn't smell, and all those crazy-ass Disney people thinking they were going to beat YouTube up when most consumers today get their information from YouTube. ESPN really thought you were going to defend them, like you were going to defend Jimmy Kimmel. They're finding out the American consumer wants YouTube more than them. Bye, ESPN. What happened? Why is our defense coaching all-star staff, but our offense is a bunch of inexperienced guys driving the Ferrari? Woo! Because you need better coaching with lesser talented players. That's why you have lesser talented coaches, except for Stoutland on the offensive side. It just never made sense to me either, Mikey. We brought this up. Mikey, you'll hire an inexperienced coach, but you got Clint Hurt, Christian Peters in the secondary. You got Bobby King at linebacker. And you got Vic Fangio over there. Every one of those coaches could be a coordinator somewhere in the NFL this coming season. But on the other side, you got a first-year play caller. I know the quarterback coach is coming out of college. You got Nick Sirianni. And all of this is around Jalen Hurts. Let me hire the least experienced guy. You know why they do that, Mikey? So they can control the offense more and how the offense and their attitude on being able to approach a game plan. That's from the front office. They want lesser experienced guys. Let me ask you something. That's a good point there too, Mikey. I never thought of this. Since 2000, has Jeffrey Lurie ever hired a head coach that was a head coach in the NFL with prior experience as a head coach? Andy Reid, no. Okay. Doug Peterson, no. Chip Kelly, college. Nick Sirianni, no. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. They don't hire any experienced former coaches that were in the league. So I think they control the offense. Not one of those coaches were ever a head coach in the NFL level prior to their hirings. And I said since 2000. I'm just, curious, and it's how you control the direction of the offense. And again, there's more analytics. Why can't the offense get better? We have a small sample size, but playing under center, Jaylen is actually, well, again, okay, you got one game. Why can't they? Let's see it. Twiz, you're talking fortune telling. I'm talking about, well, let's see it. Good luck to you. Nobody's putting an indictment on it. I just asked you a question. No, because somebody asked the question, Okay, why are there less experienced coaches on that side of the ball? Oh, by the way, who cares? That's why those people are interchangeable. Can't argue the stats, Silz. No losing coaches since 2000. It's amazing. And get this, Steven. Can't argue the facts either that they're interchangeable people. You can fire those guys at any time. Andy Reid, Doug Peterson. Andy Reid's going to Hall of Fame. Fired his ass. Fired Doug. Sirianni will be fired too soon. Not soon, but he'll be fired. Why are we talking about McKee? That was last hour. We mold our guys, not bad habits to break. Okay. So who's molding them? Jeffrey Lurie? Howie Roseman? Control of the direction of the offense. Well, Twiz, who molds them? Who molds them, Twiz? Twiz, who molds your coaches? Just curious. I'd be curious to think who Twiz thinks molds these coaches. Who molds them, bro? Help me out here. Tell me, who molds them? No, nothing, Twiz? Nothing? Says, are you under the impression a good portion of our fan base has brain cells? Hey, listen. No, I think it's great to talk to some of these folks because it shows you how people really don't know football. I answered. Who? Oh, Jeffrey Lurie, the owner. Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, molds his coaches. That means Howie and them have control of the roster and the approach of how the football team operates. Okay. So that's who controls it. So they control inexperienced coaches. That's why those guys walk around on their knees all day. Always looking up. I mean, I saw Nick doing his press conference. Did the fabulous job that Howie. I can't tell you how grateful I am and thankful that Howie brings all these great players and all this and that. And they do I was like, Jesus criminy, guy. Holy cow. Do you need more of a pacifier with the name Howie Roseman on it? Holy shit. What's your prediction for Monday? Pain. Chip wasn't an NFL head coach. Reid was let go by the Eagles to make way for Howie to ascend. Oh, by the way, Joe Banner had a great line. Woo! He had a great line today. Very rarely do you see an opportunity. Very rarely do you have an opportunity to hear a former general manager of the Eagles. He goes, Howie was villainized, demonized. In the past, couldn't make a right move according to the fans. Now, I've never seen anybody get more of the benefit of the doubt in my life than Howie Roseman. Do you know what he's saying to you? No general manager should ever get the benefit of the doubt for what they did in the past. It's the shit you do in the future. Coaches are fired all the time who've had great records. General managers get fired for what they've done in the future, not the past. Your past doesn't save you. Not in this league. Didn't save Belichick. Didn't save Reid. Reid had one bad year. Didn't save his ass. Belichick had 2 bad years. Didn't save his ass. You don't get extra credit for doing something 8 years ago. Well, there's a system. Oh, well, okay. Nobody gets credit for that. People get fired all the time. Quarterbacks get replaced. Head coaches get replaced. Andy Reid got fired. Andy Reid's going to Canton. Hey, when Andy Reid's said and done as a coach in the NFL, he makes actually have more wins than Bill Belichick. You fired his ass. Oh, I know, it was time. Okay. Well, he didn't think so. Went to Kansas City, rewrote his history. Guess he wasn't finished. You guys thought he was done. Laurie thought he was done. Problem with Andy in Philly was he had too much power. He controlled the roster. He controlled the coaching staff. Look at those great coaches that they had on his coaching staff. Brett Veach was a special teams coach. He's now the general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City right now. I mean, his past didn't help his ass. I don't agree with it. I'm with Xander on this one. I think Andy Reid's a heck of a coach. And it looks like his players enjoy playing for him. Now, listen, when you get a guy that treats you like shit, look, I don't hold any animosity towards Nick Sirianni because he was told not to come on my show by Bob Lang. That's not why I'm on him. Angelo, I think, has I think he had a bad relationship in the way the questions were asked to Nick. And I think that whole thing, sometimes when you do that and you do it long enough, sometimes that shit, look, I get it. Okay? 12 title appearances isn't overrated. Who said he was overrated? Well, get this. Andy's time at Philly came to an end. Okay. Then he went on and rewrote his history in Philly or in Kansas City. Obviously, he wasn't finished. You guys just thought he was done. So you didn't think that he was Don Shula? Obviously, Yale didn't think that Andy Reid was Don Shula. He's Don Shula. Thank God the Dolphins didn't fire Don Shula. Don Shula went from the Bob Greasy era to the Dan Marino era. You don't think Andy Reid would be successful right now in Philly? Is that what you're saying? His time had come to an end? He wouldn't have turned the Eagles around? Interesting. So you're saying that basically that Andy Reid couldn't coach Hurts. Okay. Hindsight is 2020. Well, this is why, again, too, Yale, Pittsburgh does the right way. 3 coaches since 1969. They've got the most world championship trophies of Super Bowl trophies of any team in the NFL. There's a reason. All 3 coaches are Hall of Fame coaches. In the end, the only guy Laurie trusts is Howie, okay? Not a wrong guy to trust. The offensive coaches go through Howie Roseman. It's Howie's offense and Laurie's money. So if the coach fails, it's not Howie or Laurie's fault. Pretty messed up. Well, that's what happened in 23. They blame the assistants. And because, like what Xander says, Nick's the perfect coach. Doug would fought that. Here's where Nick is different than Doug. Doug would have fought for Brian Johnson. Nick's not. Nick's not going to fight for him. They want to move him, they're going to move him. There lies the difference between Doug Peterson and Nick Sirianni. Nick won't fight for his coaches. Doug did. I'm not saying Nick's wrong. No, wait. Don't call him a yes man. I think that's across the league today. I don't think that's just an Eagle thing. No. That's not just in Philly. I think that's across the landscape. That's why you're seeing a lot of new young coaches. I don't believe that's just the Philly thing. Well, I'll tell you this. You see a lot less older coaches in the league today than you did, don't you, today? Do you see older coaches in the league? Who's the older coach in the league right now? What is it? Andy and then who? Mike Tomlin. Who else? Not really a lot of older guys. Pete Carroll? Pete Carroll, you don't think is kissing the ass of the owner of the Raiders? He had to kiss his ass to get back in the league, old man Carroll. Hey, I want to coach again. I'll do whatever you want. How about that thing last night? Talk about a fucking great game that was. More penalties and first downs. Holy shit, I had to turn on that ass kicking that USF gave that UTSA team. That thing was a nightmare to watch. Holy balls. I mean, there were more penalties than first downs. And the Denver Broncos are better than the Philadelphia Eagles. Who believes that? Yeah, they're Bo Nix. That's Xander's boy. You want to fire somebody up here. Let's get it going here. BTA on Monday. Is that what we're going to get here, man? All right. Holy shit, man. Funny stuff. All right, folks. Without further ado, woo, baby. You want to get some good-ass Philadelphia Eagle talk, you talk to one guy. They get the glazed donuts out. They get the milky out. They start dunking away. My boys are rolling, man. This thing's going to be a 20-point ass beating on Monday night. Snow or no snow, we're kicking the shit out of that team on Monday night because they're the fraudulent whackers. They're no longer the Packers. They're the whackers. And we're going to beat that team's ass on Monday night. Courtesy of Big Z. That's signed, sealed, and delivered. I heard that shit this morning. Without further ado, we are going to bring in my boy, Big Z. Xander Krause. How you doing, Big Z?
What's up, Big Silz? How you doing, brother?
I'm in a good mood, man, even though it's a kind of a funny football Friday, right?
Yeah, man. It's a football Friday. It's the greatest word in football. And, we got no game on Sunday. It's like, what the fuck? I hate this Monday night bullshit. I got to go into the weekend all fired up and we don't get Eagles football. Although my Alabama team gets to beat the shit out of LSU tomorrow night.
Is that in Tuscaloosa?
I think so.
I think it's in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a game I'll be watching, though, man. I'll be watching that Rams and 49er game.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one in the West. Both of those teams at the top. Yeah, that game's in Bama, by the way. But, yeah, no, I think you're right. That's a good one. That's probably the best one in Week 10.
How about Bucks Patriots? Because, again, the reason why I'm talking NFC teams, because, Xander, figure this out. If you go into that game on Monday night, Patriots beat the Bucks. 49ers, who I don't believe in, beat the Rams. You beat the shit out of the Packers. Don't you think you start to separate a little bit more if you come out of that game? I'm not saying you got all your ills fixed on creating consistency on what you want to do in the second half. But what I am saying is, if the field is good, if you're starting to lap the field and it's the field doing it.
I don't know if we're lapping the field. I mean,
okay. So you don't. I look, like I said, you got Rams, Niners, and Bucks playing on Sunday. That has a lot to do with the seeding in the NFC. We're starting to get into. Dude, we're in November now.
I think the Rams win, and I think the Bucks lose.
I do think the Bucks lose too.
Yeah, I think that Patriots team is legit.
I got the Bucks in that game 28-20. I got them 28-24. I think they go into that game and win that game because I think they're healthier. I know they're going to get Luke Gedeke back, but they don't have Bucky Irvin. Get this, Chris Godwin is not playing either. Drake May, I think, is going to go in there and win that football game, and I think they're going to be 8-2 on the year. How about that?
Man, that'd be impressive for that Patriots team, for that turnaround for Mike Vrabel, man.
Coach of the year.
Yeah. Well, you know who else is a coach of the year candidate? That dude in Seattle.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, Mike McDonald.
Yep.
He's coach of the year candidate in my eyes.
Well, Sam Darnold and all that up there, man, fucking incredible. All
that
right.
receiver they got out there is just amazing, dude. That Jackson
How do you
Smith.
say that kid's name? The kid from Ohio State.
Yeah, Smith and Jigba. I mean, he's a unreal player, man.
So, what'd you make of Dick Vermeil saying in the WIP that the Eagles aren't an elite team yet?
Is that what Dick Vermeil said? I think that's fair. We're 8 weeks into this, and we've had a lot of up and down football. I mean, I don't think any honest fan would be under the impression that right now we are an elite team.
Do you
now,
think there's an elite team in the league?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
I think we have an elite run. So if you factor in like a 3-year, you know what I mean? Like you can look at kind of the run that the team has been on and look at it as elite. But if you're just talking about the 2025 season, yeah, I don't think we're elite yet. I mean, I don't think that's not a knock on the Eagles at all. Everybody's still figuring it out. I mean, the first 4 weeks of the year, everybody's basically in preseason mode. You're up and down. The offense did 2 things in the last 2 games. That's 25% of the season, completely different than they did the first 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Like to be elite, you have to know who you are. You have to stick to what you do week in and week out, and you have to dominate football teams by doing it the same way we did last year. And by the way, we didn't become elite last year until
6 week.
I think
6?
longer than that.
Okay,
dude. Remember, we beat the Browns in week 6 coming out of the bye week. I don't think we were elite until week 10 last year.
Okay,
week 10, week 11 last year. So I don't think that's an unfair statement.
You think Howie Roseman gets too much of the benefit of the doubt? Do you agree with what I say when I said this a couple minutes ago? I don't really. I mean, should you get credit for what you did 8 years ago when the game has changed? It changes so radically every year. Free agency. Just because you build a resume up, Xander, does that mean you should get the latitude and the benefit of the doubt? Coaches don't get benefit of the doubt. Doug didn't get benefit of the doubt.
Why are you going back 8 years to give Howie benefit?
Well, because I'm going back because the last 8 years you guys won that Super Bowl. You've been to another one, and you've won another one. And I'm just going over the last 8 years here.
Yeah, but forget the last 8 years. I mean, even just look at the last 2 years. Has Howie done enough? In my opinion, I think he has.
No, I'm asking you the question. Do you think that because you've done that, you should get the benefit of the doubt? Aren't you gauged on where your feet are today, not what you did yesterday?
Yeah, I think so. But I think he's done. I mean, I still think he's done a good job. I don't think he's had his best season in terms of management, but I also think there is context that's got to be added to that. Like, this team was in a very interesting spot. And by the way, that spot, as it was last year, is going to be even more interesting this offseason when you got guys like Jaylen Phillips, A.J. Brown, obviously, that situation. You have some of the defensive guys, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, all those guys. So a bunch of interesting conversations in the offseason coming up. But he didn't have his best year, but a lot of the circumstances, in my opinion, dictated that, where he could have done better, yes. But he also couldn't have done as good as we all probably wanted him to do within the confines of the cap and the roster and where everything was. I mean, I think the best part about Howie right now, and I don't know if this is a credit to Howie or it's a credit to his staff or the scouts or whoever you want to put it on, but the drafting in the last 4 years for this team, especially at the top rounds, I mean, it's one of the reasons that you're letting third-round defensive tackle who's making $28 million walk. I mean, if you told me 5 years ago that we were letting a third-round defensive tackle go who produced at a Pro Bowl level and
producing now
and was going to make the highest contract in another team's history, I would have been like, Howie's not letting that guy walk out the door. But he's got 2 first-round picks tied up in defensive tackle. You know what I mean? So they've been drafting really well. Not perfect, but look, contributors to the football team, contributors to a Super Bowl team. And I think that's a part of it as well. But, I think Howie's overall done a good job. By the way, I happen to agree with what you're saying. I don't think you can go back 8 years and just say, hey, you got a bunch of credit here. I think you got to keep doing it. But I think Howie's, for the most part, done a good job. I think the Phillips trade was great.
I told you you'd love this kid.
Yeah, he's going to be a baller, dude. He's got a chance to be a baller.
If he shows up Monday, and I think he is.
Remember what we said, though, when it first happened, and we both talked about how he has an opportunity to become like a household name in the NFL. It seems like he recognizes that, too. Like with the way he was commenting,
Dude, he's a smart kid.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
I'm excited for him, man. I think he's going to make a big difference on that line.
I think he's got a lot of Brandon Graham in him.
Yeah, I mean, a rumor is he's a big dude. Like they didn't realize.
No. I'm talking about a presence.
No, I know what you meant there. I was just saying, like, I like him because we've gotten so many of these undersized edge rushers.
He's not undersized, bro.
No, I know he's not. That's why I like. I mean, I'm like, I want one of these dudes that's a fucking beast. Go get the quarterback. Impose your will. Nolan Smith's a great player, but Nolan Smith's not imposing his will on any tackle. He's just not.
Dude, Nolan Smith looks like a placeholder standing next to him. I mean,
you think Nolan's career is going to come to an end in Philly because of him?
Come to an end or excel?
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a gray area.
I don't see him paying both of them.
Well, who said I'm going to pay him big money? If that guy continues,
you think Nolan's going to go for less than we're thinking?
Well, if you put him on the open market, and he comes in with 5 sacks this year, and he's kind of been injured and not injured, and he was signed injured. You put him on the open market.
You still got.
You think that guy's a $25 million a year guy?
Yeah. But remember, $25 million is becoming cheap. I mean, you look at that. If we look at that Josh Sweat contract, that thing was a steal for Arizona.
It's 19.4 or something.
Who would you rather? Now, the people are going to take this the wrong way, but just to emphasize like the value of the contract. I know he's not the same player, or even in the ballpark of Micah Parsons, but like 18 million Sweat, 47 million Mike. I love Micah. Don't get me wrong. I'd pay for Micah. I'm just saying that's a value contract for Josh Sweat. 18 million freaking dollars.
Josh Sweat in Vic Fangio's defense is Micah Parsons. He fits into that defense, and him in another defense, he's an $18 million guy. In that defense in Philly, that guy has as much impact as Micah Parsons. Do you not agree? He has as much impact in your defense a year ago. Bro, you were the number 1 fucking defense, and he was all
but that was a collection. I mean, I'm not going to sit here.
That's what I'm saying. It's the collection of the group of guys he's in. He's a star in that group.
Well, he's certainly brought the best out of Rashawn Gary. He certainly brought the best
Carter.
Last year. I'm talking about Micah in Green Bay, though. Rashawn Gary's having a great year. Devontae Wyatt's having a good year. He's got
more sacks than Micah right now.
Well, why? I mean, if you watch those games.
Oh, I know. I got it.
I mean, Micah's got those quarterbacks running for their life,
Well, let me ask you this question here. I don't think I've asked you this before. Let's play a little hindsight. If you had to get rid of A.J. Brown and keep the entire group of the number 1 defense, which would you rather have?
Well, I don't think it would have worked like that. But for the sake of the question, I'd probably say
a lot of that money could have went on the other side of the football for a lot of guys to come back.
Yeah, but he's not making $60 million. I mean, he was making 30. You know what I mean? It pays for Sweat and Rodgers.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's get rid of. It
pays for Milton Williams. That's it.
Okay, I get rid of AJ and I get rid of Goddard, and I've got $45 million. I got rid of Huff. Huff's contract pretty much covers.
Yeah, I think there's some dead deal there. Yeah, that should
okay, and that other money gets Milton there for you, and the other one probably keeps Gardner Johnson in the room.
I mean, in theory,
the other guys were cheap.
Yeah, in theory, you obviously keep the number 1 defense over one player.
Because remember something with Sweat. When you got rid of Huff, that would have covered Josh Sweat's contract. He made $17.5. So you would have had to pay $2 more million for Josh. Think about that. You got rid of a $17 million guy, and you could have kept Sweat, and that would have offset that money. So would you rather have AJ or the number 1 ranked defense?
In a perfect world, I'll keep the number 1 ranked defense, but I don't think it's a perfect world.
Look at the little asterisk he throws in there.
Yeah, well, it's the truth. I mean, if you bring back all those guys, I don't think there's a number 1.
Like I said, I can make it work. Get rid of Huff.
But I don't think bringing everybody back would have.
Money.
I don't think bringing everybody back would have resulted in another number 1 overall defense.
Well, it would have been better than what you have.
Well, wouldn't have Jaylen Phillips right now.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't need him. I wouldn't need him. Well, wait, no, I added it up.
Let Howie build. Let him build. Let's see.
I saw him try to build. I've seen him make 9 moves since. I mean, I got it.
It's the Teamer. It's the Timu. It's the Dollar General. It's the AliExpress. I mean, this is what the offseason has been. Welcome to having a $250 million offense. You don't get to pay everybody on day.
That's right, because you don't have any kind of leeway. You don't give yourself any kind of maneuverability to be able to pay guys on defense right now.
Well, they paid Bond.
Okay. They did. And?
Just saying.
Well, they did give the extension to what's his face? To Jordan. Jordan got it.
They got the 5th year. Yeah. I think they'll pick the 5th year up on Nolan. Which means, by the way, you'll get 2 more years out of Nolan after this year.
And it'll be the third tier one.
It'll be 13, 14, 15 million bucks. That's not bad.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. And that gives you 2 more years. That probably has a chance for you to throw the, kick the can down the road on, Carter and when those contracts kick in. So,
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I got another one here for you. Bro, I know that, some of you guys are not going to like this one here, but bro, I'm concerned about Cam Jurgens.
I don't like that one. I 100% agree with you. This dude might be cooked. We might need Willie Lampkin to step in, baby. He got a rep at practice today. Willie Lampkin. Come on, Willie.
Willie Lampkin. Wait a minute.
Willie Lampkin. Nobody can be a Willie Lampkin.
Didn't Hemingway write a story about him?
You cannot be a Willie Lampkin hater. You can't be a Lampkin hater.
Who the fuck is Willie Lampkin? Who's he?
I'm a Willie Lampkin guy. No, I mean, look, I'm in all seriousness, I'm very concerned about Cam Jurgens. Like, I legitimately am not sure if he will ever return to form. He'll be able to play at some point, for sure. Will he ever be a center like we saw? Remember, we talked about this guy pretty quick. Oh, look at, we replaced Jason Kelsey. I don't know about that. Now, hey, we got a ring on our finger, and he was a big part of it. So I'm never going to look at Cam Jurgens and be mad at him. All right. But I will say they maybe jumped the gun with that damn contract that they signed him to. And the
$20 million a year.
Wait a second. The guy wakes up from his anesthesia and a back surgery, and there's a $20 million a year deal. The guy was still Delulu. He's signing his name on the fucking contract. Who gives a contract to somebody fresh off a back surgery? I didn't get that move. I didn't get that signing.
I don't know, man. I think you come into a bye and out of a bye, and the guy's not even on the field. Is he going to go to IR? He
was off today too, by the way. No practice for him today too. So he's out. He's not playing on Monday.
They're going to put him on IR?
I don't think so. They haven't put him on IR yet.
Wow. You think Phillips gets a $19 million a year deal here?
I think he could exceed that number. It depends what he does in the second half of the year here. He's either going to come here, he's going to seize the moment and the opportunity, and people are going to be willing to give him what he wants because he's going to change the trajectory of the look of our defensive ends. I mean, look, everybody can say this, honestly. I know people are high on Jalen Hunt, all right, whatever, and Nolan Smith, and everybody loves him. We don't have an edge rusher on this football team right now. We don't have a dominant edge rusher on this football team right now. We don't. In fact, if Jaylen Phillips works out and they pay him, and we have Jaylen Phillips, Nolan Smith, and Jalen Hunt next year, I'll still think they might need to draft an edge rusher. Still. Think about without Jaylen Phillips. You got Nolan Smith and Jaylen. I mean, come on, guys. Those are good players. Those are not, staple edge rushers on a football. Jaylen Phillips has the opportunity to be if he stays healthy. Everybody does. I mean,
remember I kept saying when healthy.
Yeah, but that's everybody, dude. I mean, that's everybody.
Not him. I mean, he's not been healthy. And it's not just everybody. I mean, when you've got injuries where you've missed significant time early in your career like that, I mean, like look at Nolan Smith, look at Nakobe Dean versus look at Zach Bond, or look at Q, look at Cooper. Those guys don't get fucking hurt.
Yeah, well, the other thing I think that's factored in here is one of the reasons that I think the trade for Jaylen happened is not only to fix the team this year, but I do think they have a longer term vision. Now he's going to have to earn it, but like they can't spend their first round pick on an edge rusher next year, dude.
Corner.
They can't. I don't think they can spend it on a corner either.
Why not? That's where you need the most glaring help.
Oh, really? Lane Johnson.
Corner.
Really?
Lane is not a problem for me. At 55, he's not a problem for me right now. The immediate problem
we need O-line.
Wingo.
Let me just say this to you. The reason that this golden era has been happening is because before they started drafting all these defensive dudes and these receivers, they spent pick after pick after pick after pick drafting offensive linemen. Now, they've gotten away from that. Now our offensive linemen look shoddy. I don't know what Cam Jurgens is going to be. I don't know how long of a career Landon Dickerson's going to have. I don't know if Tyler Steen is a long-term option, and I don't know what Lane Johnson's future looks like.
Okay.
I'm drafting an offensive lineman next year.
Okay. Because that's kind of where I was going to go here with this here. So you think that you drafted Andre Dillard, you've drafted Steen, you've drafted a guy who looks like he's starting to break down already early in his career in Cam. Every single one of these offensive linemen that you drafted this past year have had fucking zero impact on your football.
I cannot push back on that. All these injuries, so we don't even hear these guys' names.
None.
They don't even pop up like, hey, maybe they could get time. Drew Kendall, are you out there? Ken Williams, are you out there? Miles Hinton, are you out there? I don't know where they're
bringing Fred Johnson's ass back from Jacksonville.
Yeah, well, the ironic thing
about I don't mind Fred. I actually like Fred.
No, I like Fred, but why do we need a trade for him in the first place? Fucking sign the guy. He was right there for you last offseason.
I know. So my point is, you think they've drafted well in the O-line the last couple of years? I think. Let me give you my opinion on Steen.
Steen was what, a third-round pick?
Yeah, I'm going to give you my opinion. You know what? I think he's okay. I don't think he's all that.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there's other teams, and like we're not used to this in Philly because our offensive line's so dominant. But there's other teams. And it's like, yeah, he's a good offensive lineman, but like you're not like fear. It's not like, oh, you're going up against a stone wall here. That's kind of how I view Steen. Like he's just like a regular offensive line. He's like a John Runyon, John Runyon Jr. Shout out to him, St. Joe's prep kid, but somebody like that. That's how I view Steen. He's just all right. He's a good piece. He's not. I'm not jumping to pay him, that's for sure.
You going to pay Dallas Goedert next year?
Yeah, me and John just debated this a little bit. He thinks Goddard's as good as gone, and I'm like, okay. I do too, in a way, but you got to wonder if that's a smart move. So in the offseason, are you projecting that A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert will leave this team with some potential offensive line turnover? Yeah, that's not a good move, in my opinion. I would bring back Dallas Goedert.
I think both A.J. Brown and Goddard are gone. I agree with
yeah, that's not going to be pretty. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That's not going to be pretty. You lose both of those guys, that's not going to be good. I don't care how good you think Devontae Smith.
Why would Goddard come back when you made him take a $4 million pay cut?
Well, why'd he come back this year and take a $4 million pay cut?
Because he wants to go out on a good football team and go out there and shop his services around. You think there's any coincidence he's on pace for 15 TDs?
Well, I think Jalen Hurts is working to get him paid. I think Jalen likes Dallas Goedert.
Well, he'll be paid in Kansas City.
All right, I'll just say this. If anybody thinks they're going to get a tight end that will step in for Goddard next year, who's not Dallas Goedert, and think you're going to get a player that's as good as him, you are delusional. I don't care who you think you're going to get. And then you're, all right, so I've heard people say, get Kyle Pitts. He's going to be a free agent. All right, what are you going to pay Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts is soft.
Kyle Pitts is a glorified receiver.
He is. He's not a blocker, man. You got to play that guy in fucking space.
Yeah, I would keep Goddard, but I get it.
Hey, Xander, why do you think they put Kyle Pitts on the weak side in the offensive set? Because they don't want him on defensive ends because defensive ends kick his ass.
Here's the upcoming free agents.
Yeah, I got him in front of me. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
Okay, that's why I'm going down the list here on you. Are you going to give Jahan Dotson a contract? He's been your best number 3 since I've covered you.
Yeah, but how much are you going to pay him?
Okay. How much? $2 million?
He's not going to make $2 million.
He's making $3 million now.
Why would he sign a deal for $2 million?
Because he's not that good.
Somebody will pay him $8 million.
He's not going to get 1 or 2 money.
What's Tim Patrick making?
Give me
2.5. Okay, maybe.
He's a 2.53 guy.
That feels low.
Okay, wait. What has he done in his career for a team? If you put him on the open market, says that, hey, he's a number 2 like T. Higgins. That's $25 million.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
He's not a 10 guy.
I think he's definitely a 3 wide receiver 3.
3. He's a 3.
He's a great 3, but he's a 3.
Yeah, he's a great 3. I'd give him 3. And then I'd go like this, go test the market. And then he's going to come back with his fucking head between his legs. Reid Blankenship.
Who's not going to come back with his head between his legs? Dallas Goedert.
No,
he's going to get paid.
No, he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. I don't think he's going to get paid like the guy in Arizona.
You know where I could see Goddard going, depending on what happens?
KC, man.
Yep. KC.
Taking over for Travis.
Yep.
Man, what about Reid?
Dude, Mahomes would love Goddard.
Plus, he's great in the blocking game.
Yeah, and he's a great pass catcher. He's a great pass catcher.
How about Reid Blankenship?
I'm done on Reid. I'm good.
He's $2.9 million.
Yeah, later, Reid. People are talking about paying him $10 million plus. No, thank you. Yeah, come on. We got other things to deal with. We can replace Reid.
But Nakobe,
I would pay. I think he's going to be cheaper than we think because of the injuries. I think he's a great professional, a great leader, and he will be your green dot on defense as he's been.
You know what I would pimp to him? You know what I would pimp to him, and I'd structure a contract like this? I would have it as Zach Bond's deal is getting to maturity. I would have his money ramp up, and I would try to make that transition from Zach Bond to him because, in my opinion, at the end of Zach Bond's contract, I don't think Zach Bond, he may be, dude, and you'll have a tougher decision to make then. But don't you think their mentality would be, I'd love to have my linebackers for the next 5 years after Bond's out, Campbell and him.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you have Trotter and the other kid, Mundan, as the backups.
Here's the other thing I'd say to Nakobe. You could sign here and you might have 7 more years in the league or 5, 6, or 7 more years. Or you can go somewhere else. You can make more money, but you might be done in 3 years because you're going to go to a shitty.
You'll be out of the league in 18 months.
Yeah, right.
That's what I said.
I'd pay Nakobe Dean.
Your career's longer in Philly.
I think people get a little Delulu land on this stuff, though. Here's my boy Twizzler. Blank will be back. All right, Twiz.
Blank will be back.
How are we paying every guy that's
Hey, wait a minute. He could be back at $3.5-4 million. Sure, no problem. I'm not paying that guy fucking $8 million. He's 89th ranked. What is he? Like 89th out of 120 safeties in the league? You would have paid that guy $20 million?
Dude, I don't.
He's one of the worst safeties in pro football.
I'm not banging the door to keep Reid Blankenship.
Bro, the loss of Gardner Johnson has devalued and exposed Reid Blankenship. Do you not see that? A good safety next to him exposed him.
Well, Vic uses it by saying he has to make up for all their deficiencies. Great
leader. He's fucking this. He's that. He's fucking everything in the plan. I know. Except for everything on the field. Can he play? You know what? I'm going to bring my boy Brett Toth back.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
You're going from man-tooth to now you're signing him to a deal.
Or I could always go to a 21.
One game's got you in circles on Brett Tooth.
Well, at least he plays. Cam Jurgens doesn't.
That's fair.
I mean,
I'm on the team Willie Lampkin.
How about Ben Van McMullen?
Ben Van McMullen is done and dusted.
They love him.
I don't know why. What the fuck? I've never seen him even make. Has he made a single play in an Eagle uniform?
I can't remember, man.
Dude, literally, outside of preseason, has this guy made a single play?
Did he get hurt on the first play of the season?
Yes, the first play of the damn season.
Jesus
Has Ben Van Sumeren ever made a play in Eagle Green?
He's typing that.
I don't know if I'm being dead serious. Has he ever made a play on the football field in the regular season or the playoffs for the Philadelphia Eagles? I legitimately do not know. I mean, he's got in 2024, he had 11 games. He had 1 reception for 0 yards. Okay. In 2023 on defense, he had 9 games played. He had 4 solo tackles. Okay. 13 total with 9 assisted. And 24, he had 3 solo tackles in 11 games played. That is legitimately it. This dude has an empty stat sheet outside of this.
Oh, my God. Strength of the Packers. What do you think they are?
Great pass rushing team. If you don't win on first down in this game, you're going to have a long night. Got to win on first down, set the play action up, and keep them on their heels. You do that, Micah Parsons is neutralized all night. Rashawn Gary's neutralized all night. You have your way offensively. You put them on their heels, and then you just force Jordan Love to give you a few meatballs, which he's almost guaranteed to do.
You think Matt LaFleur is a good play caller?
I like Matt LaFleur. I think he's a little overrated. I think he's a little boosted up by those early years of Aaron Rodgers where they won 13 games every year. But, I don't think all his problems are actually him. I think there's a lot of problems there that they don't have as good a dudes as people think at the skill positions outside of Josh Jacobs. I mean, they got a bunch of got a bunch of guys. Yeah. Like they don't have a guy. They have a bunch of dudes. And Tucker Kraft, who is emerging, is now done. So, who is Jordan Love throwing to? Is it Christian Watson, who's coming back off an ACL? Jaden Reid is obviously out. So, I think he broke a collarbone earlier in the year, if I'm not mistaken. So, remember last time we played this dude, he had three interceptions in the playoffs. This dude's a stiff.
Well, they're better right now.
This dude's seeing shadows when he plays the Eagles.
I will say this: after you lose Tucker Kraft, we'll see how that plays out. What do you make of Jeff Hafley? Good. I think he's had a good. I mean, last year, remember, he came from college. Last year was his first year. We were the first game he played. I was out on him, but I think.
Yeah, me too. Well, I wasn't out on him. I was just skeptical. I didn't know what he was going to be. I think he's done a good job. I mean, I think he has a lot of good players, but I think he's done a pretty good job.
Does Michael Carter or Jair Alexander make an impact on Monday? And I mean by an impact, here's the impact, what I mean. Are they going to be able to give Vic flexibility in playing Cooper at multiple positions? Because here's Andrew, don't you agree with these two new guys? I'm not looking for tackles and I'm not looking for sacks. I'm not really looking for coverage. What I'm looking for is them being able to give Vic ability to move Cooper around more. And do you think we'll see Cooper outside more?
Not this week. I'm going to give it another week here. I think we could maybe see
the Lions because the Lions receivers.
Yeah, and just I think I don't know if Jair is going to be contributing that quick. But maybe. I mean, it's not like he's battling, an all-pro to get on the field. No. He's battling the law firm of Ringo, Bennett, and Jackson. Those dudes are a bunch of stiff 1, stiff 2, and stiff 3. And maybe if Alexander looks like, he's got a pulse, he might be on the field. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and say no, though, this week. But I could be wrong.
How about this? Do you not agree that this will be a good test going up to Green Bay, but then the following week you go Ahmad St. Brown, Jamison Williams, and then you got Sam Laporte and Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Isn't that the week, the Detroit week?
Maybe.
That's Sunday Night Football, by the way.
The Detroit's tough because do you want Dean or Campbell on the field? Yeah, right. I want Dean.
You'd rather have the run defender first.
And Dean's not. I mean, he's not
terrible.
bad. He's not horrible in coverage. I mean, he's not Jihad Campbell, but he's not awful. I'm going Dean there all day. But I'm more of a veteran. I prefer the veteran player.
Campbell's not a liability.
No, he hasn't been at all.
No, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm talking liability here. He's not a liability. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. A couple more here for Xander. Hit that like button here. That's going to be a test because that's a pretty good look. Dude, I mean, I'm not saying Brown is one of the top 4 receivers in the game. What do you make of Jameson Williams? He's a Bama kid.
Yeah, I mean, he transferred to Bama. I forget. I think from Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he was a baller at Bama for that year. Caught a ton of deep ball. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great wide receiver too. I wouldn't want him to be my wide receiver 1.
I'm not saying Brown is on pace. I'm not saying Brown's on pace for 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. I mean, that guy's one of your better ball.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Amon-Ra. If you don't have Jared Goff with him, I don't think he's as nearly as productive of a player, especially with these quarterbacks like Jaylen or like these dual threat quarterbacks or the guys that make hay out of the pocket. Like Amon-Ra fits perfectly with Jared Goff because Jared takes the 5-step drop and the ball's coming out, and Amon-Ra, all you got to do is get space in these zone defenses. He's this crafty little route runner. He's always open. And Jared Goff, I mean, I know people don't like him. I know you said you don't like him. He is accurate. Like, that ball goes where he wants it to go. So he fits perfectly with Jared Goff. But,
man, AJ would look good in that. He looked good in that offense up there.
I actually think Devontae would fit better in their offense.
Oh, my God. Instead of Jameson Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree with Farzi that this is the last year for AJ?
I'm not sold on that yet. If this team wins the Super Bowl, AJ's not going anywhere.
Maybe AJ would want to go. How do you know AJ doesn't want to go?
Well, that's fair. I mean, maybe he does want to go, but based on what he said, I mean, he likes it in Philly and his family's here. His wife is here. His kids are here. I mean, he said it to him. That doesn't mean he's going to be here, but,
I saw that. I think
people should pump the brakes a little bit, bro. We have a fucking all-pro receiver for the first time in how fucking long, man? And everybody just wants to get him the fuck out the door because they're mad we get the 30th ranked passing offense. AJ, he's got to buy in a little bit more.
He's mad.
I'm not doing everything I can to get the guy off the team.
Wait a minute. Nobody's mad. He's mad. He's the one that's upset. I made a comment to people earlier to start the show.
We're going back to the Travis Fulgham era.
I made a comment.
Jalen Reagor and Travis Fulgham is what you get. I fear the football gods will punish us for doing that.
A.J. Brown is not in the room with Antonio Brown. And guy
Antonio Brown's one of the most talented receivers I've ever seen play.
Dude, do you know that you know what Cole said about him today?
Dude, Antonio Brown could have been the GOAT.
Listen, you're right. No, he's like T.O.
Dude, he was insane when he was in his prime.
You ready what he said? If he gets convicted of this attempted murder, the 50 voters are not going to vote. But if he doesn't, he's up next year for Hall of Fame.
Yeah, in my opinion, he's a Hall of Fame wideout.
Dude, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah, even if
he's better than Larry. Don't you think he's better than Larry Fitzgerald?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Larry was a very different style of receiver who, obviously had longevity and stuff. Yeah, right. I mean,
he was kind of a deep. I mean, Brown was Antonio Brown.
He was so fucking talented, dude. I mean, I think he was a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, he was.
And Western Michigan.
Something like
Eastern Michigan or something.
The Steelers have always done that shit, bro. They find these wide receivers in fucking later rounds, like Hines Ward. I think Hines Ward was a quarterback at Syracuse.
Dude, that's right. Hines Ward, man. Hines Ward. He was a big player in that big Super Bowl they won with Ben, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think he won the MVP. I think Hines Ward.
Oh, yeah, Super Bowl MVP. That's right. I remember watching. I think I was young.
He won the most valuable player award.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they could use a late round receiver right now.
How about Aaron Rodgers, man? I mean, how about this one here with Woody Johnson? So I was talking to Jason Cole a little bit. Bro, you're telling me that you're Aaron Glenn and you take that job. Who do you think took a worse job? Kellen Moore with the Saints or fucking Aaron Glenn with the Jets?
Would you rather be in cap hell or have 7 first-round picks?
With that team? Do you know they haven't been to the playoffs in 12 years?
This at Jets?
Yeah. Woody Johnson's owned the team for 25 years.
I think Kellen Moore is, look, won a Super Bowl here.
Overrated. Kellen Moore's
I
overrated.
don't think he's the right head coach. I think he's a coordinator. I mean, dude, sometimes you got to, like, know your role. Like, you know, somebody told me once, like, you got to know. Like, you're either a 1 or you're not. You know, not everybody's meant to be a
Josh
1.
McDaniels.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. And so I don't view Kellen as a 1. But, you know, let's see. I'd rather probably take neither. Can I opt to be the coordinator on the Eagles instead?
If you were Kellen Moore and he was the offensive coordinator today, would the offense still be in the shape they're in? I say yes.
Yeah, me too, because he never proved that he was going to improve the passing game last year. I mean, he never proved that. In fact, you could argue Petula's done a better job.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. I never thought he did dick for Jalen Hurts. I thought he actually hurt the passing game more than what Kevin has. I don't really think Kevin's hurt the passing game.
Well, I mean, the tough part about that is you got to add the context of, like, you know, Kellen had a rare season from a running back. Talking about, like, literally one of the most rare seasons in the history of football. I mean, that's going to change some things, you know. So,
well, let's do these supers here, guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we didn't read supers yesterday, dude.
What's that?
We didn't read our supers yesterday. We flaked that on the great people of JAKIB Nation.
Is there any way we can get some of them
Look
up?
at Twiz making fun of my mug. You know what this mug says, Twiz? Mom, when I count my blessings, I count you twice. With
That's
a little
awesome.
heart on the hand.
Good for you, Junior.
Yeah, Twiz. Oh, Twizzy. Oh, Twiz, you need manly cups. You need manly cups in order to feel like a man, Twiz.
Let me guess. He has a cup with 2 cannolis on them.
Yeah, that's what Twiz
Give me a break here, man. Is there any way we can go back and get those or no?
I can read some of them. I can read some of them.
My way up. Please.
Senor, you're here. I've been apologizing to you for 2 days. I'm done going on the apology tour. You're here. I'm sorry for calling you stupid, Senor. I love you, buddy. It won't happen again. It was rude. All right?
I'll take it.
Shouldn't take, but you're not a stupid guy. I went too far. All right?
Yeah.
All right, Senorita? I love
me,
you, pal.
Not me.
Here's Dirty Dave. I saw a crazy stat where Adoree Jackson is ranked 5th among cornerbacks that force tight window throws, and Quinyon was 3rd. Take that stat, put it in a paper shredder.
Oh, my God.
Dirty Dave, sometimes you got to use your eyeballs.
Hey. And sometimes I can prove that you can hold an elephant by its tail off a cliff. Holy shit. Adoree Jackson? Hey, dude, that guy's lucky he's got an Eagle uniform in a locker right now. You know what Adoree Jackson should have? He should have his locker in the urinal. Where's his locker? It's right next to stall 6. Yes, sir.
Here's my boy Jarhead. What up, Jarhead? I think we are a bunch of needs for the next draft. A trade of AJ in the draft to get a young tight end stud from a team or from the draft is a must. Thoughts? Yeah, there's not very many good tight ends coming into the draft next year. Certainly nobody that's going to replace Dallas Goedert in year 1.
There's no Brock Bowers. There's no Brock Bowers in this coming draft.
Everybody's got to remember, we are in a Super Bowl window. All right, be careful about getting rid of good players. All right, certainly players that lead your team in touchdowns. Okay, that's all I'll say. I'm not saying you can pay everybody, but Reid Blankenship, goodbye. Dallas Goedert with the Super Bowl window, I think I'm going to keep you. That's how I view it.
The kid now.
It's so weird, though. I've never seen this. Like, people just like, A.J. Brown, goodbye. Dallas Goedert, goodbye. Hey, well, you guys want to get rid of all of our good players? You think that's good GMing? That's not good GMing. As much as Silz wants you to believe you got to get rid of A.J. Brown.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, bullshit.
All I'm saying is
sit here and act like
no. I didn't say he should be. I said he will be.
Look at Silz.
I did. Look, if you guys are talking tight ends, there's probably only one really that's going to go in the first round. It's that kid, Kenyon Sadik, that kid from Oregon. And he's a smaller dude. He's like 6'3", 235 pounds. He's smaller. So there's not really a big-time tight end in this coming draft. Not like you had with the kid, Tyler Warren, and then you had with Brock Bowers. I don't see one of those guys that are going to be in this draft
I'm not doing that
this coming year. So, I mean,
I
don't know. Maybe to your point, maybe they do bring Goddard back.
We're not going to be picking that high. We got 1 first pick, 1 second-round pick. We need offensive linemen. Silz is probably – we probably need another cornerback. I mean, come on. We can't draft a tight end in the first or second round next year. You're getting another stiff.
This is what I do. I go in.
Yeah, I mean, Prince is like, they want AJ, Dallas, Jalen gone. I mean, it's crazy, Prince. They'll blow the whole fucking team up, the most successful team we've ever had.
Not me. I don't want anybody gone. They want to be gone. He wants to go to Hall of Fame.
Only a blockhead would want to be going off this team. Here's Jarhead. They need to draft O-line in the first round. That I agree. Then best edge, but multiple O-line players is a must. If they pay Jaylen, I think they can wait on the edge. But I hear you. Is a must, and we need to think replacement for Blankenship too. Yeah, goodbye, Reid. I'm good with Reid going bye-bye.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this. So you're going to pay all these guys, right? You think this? Do you think? Hold on here. I got a question. We haven't addressed this one.
You guys see that face? You see that face? Whenever you got a question with that face, you know it's a trap coming.
All right. Look at him set the fucking question up.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, big dog. All right.
How far do you think they're going this year again?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. They're going to win it?
Honestly. Objectively, I think they're the best team in the NFC.
They're going to win it.
Well, I think they got a really good chance. They're in the conversation. I think they're going to get back there. Obviously, any given Sunday, you got to play your best game in that game. But I think the Eagles are truly the best team in the NFC right now.
Let me go with your take and go like this. Okay, I believe you. They win the fucking Super Bowl. Your number one priority is Jalen Carter or Jalen Hurts?
Neither of the above. Why?
You're not going to address restructuring of a quarterback's contract when every one of those guys at the top of the Josh Allen's and Lamar Jackson's, everybody's had 2 contract extensions and restructuring of contracts before Jalen has. You're not going to address the quarterback and have like a conversation about redoing his contract, and he's gone to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them? In what world?
I understand where you're coming from. I'm just going to listen.
I'm
going to relax and let me answer. I'm going to say about Jaylen, he's not. I understand. People pay people a lot earlier. He's not due, okay, at all or close.
Neither was Barkley.
I understand that. Jaylen has always been a guy, and I've always respected the hell out of him for this. He practices what he preaches. And he proved that to all of us last year in the way he handled everything through that and now through this season and the way he approaches things and the press conference and the comments. I know sometimes they sound stupid, but the guy practices what he preaches. He tells me when he signs his last contract, money is nice, championships are better. I hear from his agent after he signs the highest paid contract in pro football history, and he says, dang, that's great. You didn't need to do all that. Again, I'm not going to say he's not going to want the money. I'm not going to say they're not going to extend him. Maybe there's a cap reason to extend him where you can kick the can down the road a little further and get cap relief. Maybe that would be the thing.
No,
but I don't think Jalen's
guaranteed money.
I don't think Jalen's going to be the type of quarterback that's beating on Howie's door like, yo, I need another contract.
Okay.
I don't.
The NFLPA will make sure that that's not the case on how you're talking, because every single thing about getting the next guy paid, it's hammered into every one of us. And Nicole Lynn, his agent, pushed that by that. What's that?
Tom didn't do it.
And Tom got paid in the end when he went to Tampa. He did. He did. And you know what he did? Okay, fair enough.
I think he made $30 million a year in Tampa.
He made 46.
I thought it was like 2 years.
No, he didn't get paid big money until he got to Tampa, Xander. They gave him like a 40 guaranteed deal.
His initial deal in Tampa was 2 years, 50 mil.
Okay, look at the signing bonus, what they gave him.
And then he signed a 1 year. No, he signed 2 years, 50. 1 year, 25 for his last season.
Look what they gave him in bonus. And all of it was fully guaranteed.
Well, he's Tom Brady. I'm fully guaranteeing it too.
No.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying Jaylen has always practiced what he's preached to me.
Bro,
so if he's saying
took a market deal when he took a mark, you're making it sound like he took some sort of hometown cooking discount.
He's not even a top paid quarterback right now. Top 10 paid
when he signed that deal.
Okay, I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to rush to the table to be first like Josh Allen was, like Dak Prescott was. I think Jaylen truly wants to win championships. And if you want to win more championships, one of the natures of the beast is you're not going to be the top paid guy. Tom Brady was never the top paid guy. So it's okay. If I get what you're saying, the agent's going to want to be paid. But if Jaylen truly wants to win more championships and he cares more about that, I don't think Jaylen's going to be beaten on the door to get an extension. I just don't.
I've never in my entire life heard that a guy in 4 years going to 3 Super Bowls and winning 2 of them and going to 3 of them, not wanting a contract redone for winning 2 Super Bowls and getting to 3 NFC title games and winning them and saying, hey, fuck it, I'll kick the can down the road.
If I were the Eagles, I would if I were the Eagles, I would just keep the cap hits the same and give them more cash. And that's what I would do. I'd give them a big ass cash infusion.
Do you know why
thank you for delivering 2 Super Bowls to this fucking city.
Do you know why that Kansas City deal is so good? He is not in the top 12.
Yeah, but that's a perfect point, though.
Yeah, but wait.
Why doesn't he restructure? He's not in the top.
He signed a $475 million contract.
Jaylen signed a $265 million contract.
No, right. But this guy's almost guaranteed $500 million.
Yeah, but you're going off of the average annual value. He's lower than Hurts.
Bro, he's guaranteed contract. It's almost fully guaranteed.
Let's look up the Jalen Hurts contract, shall we, Mr. Sileo?
$450 million.
Let's look up the Jalen contract. He is under contract all the way through 2028.
So what? You can redo his deal.
I think the biggest reason they'd restructure is because of the $31 million cap hit up from 21 this year. And that's where I think they'd restructure. But I think really the restructure would come after 2026 when the cap hit jumps to $42 million in 2027. If you move on from Jay Hurts right now, the dead cap's $140 million.
Let's take a look at it. I'm going to show you something here, and I'll show you why that contract, again, with Mahomes is so
Brent, I'm with you. Jalen's not going to nuke the team so he can get in a couple extra million. He's not.
Couple extra? We're not talking about
Dude, he's the highest paid athlete with Jordan.
We're talking about a couple $100 million extra.
No, across multiple years you are.
Get this, folks. Dak Prescott signed a $240 million deal. Joe Burrow signed a $275 million deal.
Yeah, and they can't feel the
Josh Allen signed a $330 million deal. Patrick Mahomes signed a $450 million deal with $79 million of it fully guaranteed. And total guarantees for him are $150 million. I mean,
okay, I just see it a little different.
Money is the guaranteed money in the bank.
I will say this to you. Your point about the NFLPA is not lost on me, and that is actually makes the most sense here because people don't know this, but that's like a thing in the league. Like you don't take pay cuts because you hurt the next guy.
Let me tell you how
that's the most real part, in my opinion, about this contract.
Every single year, they come to you, right? Xander, you get a list of the guys at your respected positions that are making more money than or less money than you because you signed for more money because you were a rookie. Back then, rookies made more. You know, we made more money than the veterans when we signed back then. And when that deal got restructured, did you know that? Back in the day. Oh, get this. Back in the day, when you signed coming out of college, like Sam Bradford was the last big deal. Xander, he was one of the highest paid quarterbacks in all of pro football. And he was a rookie when he came out of Oklahoma. So back in the day, before this new CBA, rookies made more than the veteran guys. It was really wild.
Wow.
Like if you came in and there was a guy that was a 10-year veteran, he'd be making 200 grand. I'm making 225. That's
All right,
how
here we go. Let's get to some more supers. I hear you. I think it'd be more for that than it would be Jaylen being like, I want to be paid. But all right, we'll see what happens. Here's Jarhead again. Jarhead, thanks for the supers today. Silz and Xander, if Phillips plays Monday, do you see him being a huge impact in the game? And what do you expect his overall stats to be? Thanks, gents.
Damn right I do.
Yeah. I think he's going to have I think he might get a sack.
Bro,
Woo!
you're going to be so excited I'm excited for him. Xander, I'm really excited for him. I can't wait to see him play.
Well, you know, when the news broke, I had on my breaking news show that I saw somebody in the comments, Sileo is going to find a way to rip this. And I said to him, you don't know Silz. This is a Miami guy. Yeah. Silz won't be ripping no Miami guy. All right. Yeah, and as predicted, I've never seen you glaze a move made by Howie harder than the Phillips move. I wonder why, everybody.
I like the kid, man.
I know you do. I'm sure you do. Here's Jared. If Howie is smart, restructure Hurts, move more money over a longer period, save money on the cap, and use the savings to pay card. That's probably what he will do.
Yeah, he will.
I think a restructure is likely, but I think it's not. I don't think it's going to be like Jalen Hurts is up to $65 million. I don't see that.
No. I don't know. I don't know if he would go.
Well, that's what Dakota did. So I don't want to hear shit about him crying about his defense.
So wait a minute. You think the reason why they got rid of Micah is because of the $60 million deal?
That's part of the reason.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Mike, I don't know if you're there, but your camera's not working there, my brother. Here we go. Tyler Kilgore, best duo on YouTube. Eagles win 31-17. I like that score.
I think this game's going to be. I don't know. I think
you're not a Packer believer.
Nope, I can see never have been. Oh, I haven't been. Do you ever hear me say I believe the Packers are a contender? I've never said that.
I can see it all over the Big Silz face that he's not a Packer believer.
I'm not, man. I think Detroit's better.
He says he don't know why. I thought it was a good read, Tyler. Best duo on YouTube. It's like the British are coming. It's like one of those things. All right, yeah. Tyler, come on, man. It works. All right. Well done. I think we got all of our supers.
What kind of? Oh, I didn't ask. What's your score, man? Oh wait, you're gonna do it Monday?
Wait till Monday.
You're gonna wait till Monday.
I think the Lions win this. Oh no, the Lions don't have a big game. They play the Communists. The Communists suck. As predicted by your boy Big Z. Maybe y'all should start listening to me. I told you the Bears are going to be better. I told you the Commanders are going to suck. I told you the Cowboys would get second in the NFC. So that's looking like that might shape up, folks. All right. I told you the Eagles would win the NFCs for the first time, for the first repeat winner in 20 plus years. And Sileo and McMullen, both these old heads, laughed me off the screen. It's never happened in 20 years. What? You're a homer. You're an Eagle colored glass. We got like a 4-game lead.
Here's one for you. Hurts will never throw for 4K and 30 touchdowns ever.
He's going to pay for 30
Barkley is on that team.
Ever. Tell you, right now, 30 tutties this year, 4K yards next year.
Hey, who's first to go? Barkley or AJ?
Ooh. Probably AJ.
Probably. Good conviction, kid.
You're lucky you got that answer. I almost said no comment. I almost hit you with a no comment. I plead the fifth. That's what I almost hit you with.
Oh, my God. Looking funny, man.
Here's Kokorski. Look at Kyle. What up, Kyle? First, Packers had Tucker Kraft. Now it's Sargento.
Hey, I think you beat the hell out of that football team on Monday. I'm going to stick to that 28-17 score. I'm going to give that to you Monday. I don't. I mean, run at Micah, man.
It's Big Silz.
I know you and John glaze over Micah. I think he's a great pass rusher. I don't think he's an overall great player. I think he's a better Hassan Reddick. I think he's a better Hassan Reddick. That's what I think he is. Well, he don't play to run well.
He's not. Hassan Reddick's not in Micah Parsons' league.
I didn't say he was. I said he's a better Michael Parsons. So is Mike.
Lil Moby. Lil Moby, you're right. All right. But don't tell Sileo that. He won't take it well.
Man.
Oh, man.
All right.
All right. Well, listen. Not that many good games this weekend. Rams and Niners is probably the best one.
Let's see here. Hold on.
Like, who's the Sunday night game?
I think the
By the way,
Commanders.
how about this Sixers lid? Ooh!
The Sunday game is Pittsburgh and the Chargers.
10, 9, 8, 76ers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers.
Is Embiid on the team?
Ready, Silz? Clap your hands, everybody.
Wait.
For Philadelphia.
Wait.
76ers. Come on, Silz, sing it with me.
Wait a minute. Is Embiid on the team?
Yes,
One
he
and
is.
done. One and done.
Oh, shut up.
So is Mike North here or not? I don't know. What's
I don't
going
know
on?
either. He's got a black screen, Mike. I mean, I don't know if we can't see the toupee with that thing.
I know. So bring him up. Let's see if we can hear him at least. See if he's
I'm
there.
sure we can hear him. I don't think we can see him. This is the problem.
Maybe he's nude. I don't
Mike,
know.
are you out there?
I'm here. I'm looking right at you.
We can't
What
see
the hell's
him, Mike.
going on with your camera, dude?
I can see you perfectly. Wait a minute. Let me redo it. Hold on.
It's it. There you go.
Let me reload. Can see you perfectly.
All right,
Yep.
reload it.
Entering the studio.
No.
Yeah.
Same fucking.
Don't know what's wrong. I got the
It
email.
looks like you've got your camera off.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can fix that.
Hey, Mike, if I know what I'm talking about, we're
all these old heads.
No, camera's on. There's nothing. You know, sorry.
I don't know what to say here. I mean, so we should go forward anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Just do it. I guess do it audio.
I'm a radio guy. You know.
Yeah.
I'll try it again. I'm going to try loading it again.
Okay, try
All right,
loading it
Mike.
again, Mike. See if we can
Try
get
a little
this
one more
Old
time.
school right here.
No,
Nope.
Same
nothing
fucking-
there, guys. And I do the
Oh.
same thing every week.
I know, man. Crazy. It's probably StreamYard doing this.
No,
here.
it's not. It's not StreamYard.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been in the radio 33 years. Usually, it's not the talent. And they blame the talent all the time. It couldn't be this. It couldn't be that. Oh, but I tell you, it's not. Now it's frozen. But at least I got you guys. Yeah, I'm hitting this sucker 4 times.
All right, Mike. We're good.
All right.
We're gonna do this.
Yeah,
All right,
let's do
you
it.
guys have a good segment.
All right.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
I appreciate
man.
you, my friend. Yeah. Hey, look, we absolutely here. Absolutely. Oh, wait. Now we got a problem here.
What?
Now we're
And now what?
There
Now
we go.
what?
There we go, Mike. There
I'm
we
here.
go. All
I'm
right.
here, baby.
So
Yeah, I don't
okay, so
understand
Sandra,
that.
maybe we get a picture like of a just get a picture of a toupee. Don't any random toupee and just put it there for Mike North.
I love the toupee. The toupee has saved many a man. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Before
all
hair
right.
plugs.
Mike, let me start you out here with Antonio Brown. What do you make of that story with Antonio Brown?
Well, he's one of the guys that was a bad dude from the beginning, and he's been bad ever since. And he got into all sorts of trouble when he was with Pittsburgh. If you can't play for the Steelers, then what's your issue? You know, I mean, they always treat their players with dignity and stuff like that. And at times he made himself look the fool. I'm sorry to see what happened to him, but it's not surprising, to be honest with you, Dan. So see you later, alligator. He's in a lot of trouble, and we'll see what happens.
But here, Mike, let me throw this at you here because he's a Hall of Fame talent. Do you not agree? All his numbers will tell you that. I mean, if you were going to pick a wide receiver, Larry Fitzgerald or him, his career has better numbers. He's one of the best wide receivers of all time. should you hold character issues against him when it comes to selecting the Hall of Fame? There's a lot of dudes that are in the Hall of Fame. You should see the picture we have here.
I see it. I can see it.
I love it. I love it here.
See, my end works because my picture is beautiful. Now I just try to figure out, but you know what? I know the Hall of Fame doesn't do that because Lawrence Taylor's in.
Right.
Okay. So, you go the things that he's done and got a little bit of an echo here. I hope it ain't bothering anybody. But it's one of those deals where there's a lot of culprits in the Hall of Fame. And they're in every Hall of Fame. I mean, so you're not going to get rid of that. That could hold his behavior while he was playing, his behavior of being a troublemaker, being in trouble before, that could hold him back. But and there'll be people that will do that, but it's not a Hall of Fame where you got choir boys.
That's right. I mean, you don't win championships with choir boys. That's for damn sure here.
No.
Hey, Mike, what do you make of this story going on between I threw this out there and said that I think all the people at ESPN must be really in shock that the public and they want to consume YouTube and not them. With this dispute, everyone's arguing over, well, ESPN and their talent. Pat McAfee is telling people stop at ESPN selling this stupid website. What's your take on all these things going on here with this battle between YouTube and ESPN? Obviously, the ratings have been affected. It was down 24% from Monday when it came to the television broadcast of the Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. And then this past weekend in college football, the numbers were down incredibly. And I said, and I posted on my X, I go, hey, man, ESPN's getting a good test of it right now that people don't like the programming of what's going on at ESPN. So your takeaway on what you've seen with this and what you know about this, because, I had to do some due diligence, Mike, on what this was about. But I guess ESPN is trying to pimp people to buy more streaming services.
Yeah. Well, whatever this diligence thing is, I want to look into it. You said diligence, and I'll look into what that means. I think it means you look into things very strongly. I'm going to tell you, the ESPN bet thing hasn't worked out because nobody believed in the handicappers. I've been a handicapper for 33 years. There are people handicapping on TV. I've been handicapping longer than they've been born. And, you have people like Mike Greenberg and Stephen A. Smith trying to sell the betting end of it. They're talk shows. I know Greeny since 1992. He couldn't pick his nose. You know what I mean? Talented guy, great host, does a good job on Get Up. But they go young. I don't listen to any handicapper under the age of 35. And then I just listen to myself mostly. Most of these kids, they don't bet, $25 a game maybe. And I'm not taking anything against them. As far as YouTube and ESPN goes, I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't understand it. I know I was on ESPN 1000 like I am every Friday today. And I got my podcast up. But as far as the TV end, I haven't been happy with the TV end except for the games for a long, long time.
What do you make of Stephen A. Smith as a talk show host?
He's the Black Mike North.
Explain what you mean by that.
I was before him, and I was doing all the talking. He's just got a bigger platform now, So, I mean, I was doing what in 92, what he does on TV. I was doing it on TV at CBS in 2006, 2007. He's very controversial. I don't know how popular he is. I don't know, but when I see him say something stupid, I'll say, "What are you talking about? This and that." So, that's just the way I feel. I mean, there were plenty of people before him that have opened the doors. So, he's made a good buck for himself. He's got a good following. He's tapped into Sean Hannity. I give him all the credit in the world, and he's a hustler. Period. End of story. The same way I was, the same way a lot of guys were 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. He's the latest flavor, and hopefully he'll continue on.
What do you make of Skip Bayless?
Oh, Skip was in Chicago. He didn't last long with us. He was with the Chicago Tribune. The best thing that ever happened to him was he lost popularity in Chicago. He was going up against the sports radio stations, our station, which was the strongest, one of the strongest in the country. The newspaper was becoming irrelevant, which it has. He had a good run with them, but what ended up happening to him is he had to leave the Chicago Tribune. But it ended up being a bonanza for him. I haven't seen him on anything lately, but everybody, he'll be perking up somewhere, Skip. But the best thing that ever happened to him was leaving Chicago.
Did he go to Dallas after that, or was it Chicago to Dallas?
I think he was Dallas first, and then he went to Chicago. He worked for the Dallas newspaper,
Dallas
and then he went
News.
to the Tribune.
Dallas, he worked for the Dallas Morning News. That's correct. Then he went to the Chicago Tribune or the Chicago Sun.
Yes, and that's when then all of a sudden one day I looked and he was on TV. So you know what? Skip and I, we were in the same company a couple of times, got along fine, and these guys are all doing well. It's just the shelf life on some of these shows when they're sailing all of a sudden ends. But when he lost, I'll tell you who was good. Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman was good. And all of a sudden he's not around. And he was with both Skip and Stephen A. So apparently he's a pretty smart guy, but he didn't work out for some reason. But I know he had a lot of talent.
How about this here? Let me go with the college game now for you. I
love when you do that.
I want you to help me out, okay? Really, because I've been asking this question to everybody. Mm-hmm. So the college football playoff top 25 came out, right? Mm-hmm. This last Tuesday. ESPN had this gigantic show. Mm-hmm. So explain this to me. Nowhere on that top 25, Mike, did they have a not Power 4 team. There was no Memphis. There was no anybody. How are you selling me this? Well, we're picking and ranking the top 25 teams in all of America, and yet you're going to try to sell me, hey, I don't believe that Memphis is a top 25 team, but we have to put them in our college playoff because that's just the way the system is. You contradict yourself, Mike, when you're saying this is the best college football playoff, but wait a minute, one of the teams that we have in it, we don't believe is a top 25 team. Mm-hmm. How are you selling me that you're putting the best teams in the college football playoff when you don't even believe one of those teams is a top 25?
Well, because if you're going to let 5 SEC teams in, then you're letting 4 in that aren't the best talent.
Well, why not be honest about it then, Mike, and just say that?
Well, you know what? And here's another thing. At least one of them's getting in. I got to believe if you're the SEC and the Big Ten, you're saying to yourself, why didn't we do this 10 years ago like everybody wanted us to? They're making more money now with the 12-team format than if there'd been only one team like from the Big Ten, Ohio State or Indiana, 2 teams out of 4 with maybe Alabama and somebody else. It needed to be expanded, but they also need to bring in the little guy. If you're going to load it up with SEC, Big Ten, and Big 12 talent, and leave the other power, they call it the power of 5 conference or something, then you know what? You're defeating the purpose. You're still excluding. And that's somebody's opinion that Memphis is 25th. Memphis has had a pretty good year, and there's no guarantee that whoever plays Memphis will win. It's football. In basketball, they did the same thing. They had to open it up a little bit. Well, they've opened it up too much, but you got to let some of the little guys in. If you just let in all Goliath, David, it takes something out of it. It will be fun to see somebody. I understand what you're talking about. But I also understand I've seen SEC teams in the tournament, in the playoffs before the playoffs that weren't worthy of their rankings, but because they play in that league. If Memphis played in the SEC, I don't know what their record would be, but I'm seeing what other teams like Oregon and other teams like from the Pac-12, I see what happens to them when they come north and play in the Big Ten. It's a whole different story now. So it's all different. I don't have a problem with out of 12 teams, one team being little and sneaking in. I do understand the rankings, but that's speculative. I do agree with you, but you got to let somebody else in. And that was the deal that they cut, and I think it's a good one.
How about this, Mike? Do you think that it's tougher to win the Big Ten in the SEC than win the national title?
Well, I think it's tough to win. I would say that before nil, but Nick Saban even knew, and this is why this guy from Alabama has done a good job after losing to Florida State, because Florida State's lost since. I think that it's tougher to win the league. I really do.
I'm with you.
Although Indiana, for instance, who had Indiana on their bingo card, going to be 15-point favorites at Penn State. I mean, things have really turned around. And 3 years ago, people would have laughed at Indiana like we're talking about Memphis. So, things change.
Let me give you a couple NFL games. Eagles and Packers.
Yeah.
On Monday. How about this? The Packers are favored in this football game.
Yeah, you guys are finished. You guys won't win that game. You guys are going to lose that game. Well, you're underdogs, number one, and you're Philadelphia, and you got Hurts, who's been performing like I knew he would. When doubted in his own city, it's very sad. I'm almost in tears about the doubters. But I'm going to tell you something. The Philadelphia defense, 19th in defensive scoring, 24th in total yards. The Green Bay Packers not far and away of the better defensive squad. They're both scoring 26 points a game. I took the Packers. It's sort of like last week, Arizona. I had Arizona on Monday night. Nobody thought Arizona had a chance. Green Bay's been listening since last week about how they lost to the Panthers. The Panthers now are a pretty good team, but they should have never lost that game to the Panthers. But everybody is a stinker. Look at Indianapolis. They lost to Pittsburgh. So there was a lot of teams that had stinkers last week, but I already put in my pick for Green Bay in that game at -2.5.
How much of a loss do you think Tucker Kraft is to that Packer offense?
Huge, but I think what they'll do is they'll move Josh Jacobs around. They'll move him, put him on the line. Sometimes I'm hearing they're going to throw the ball to him. I think the over/under for reception for him is 2.5 at -120. I would definitely, since Kraft is out, load up on receptions for Josh Jacobs.
New England is going to Tampa in Raymond James. I believe the Bucks are giving 2.5. It's 48.5. Who do you like in this one? I like New England going in there. Or do you like the home team in this one?
I like New England. The receivers are still pretty banged up for Tampa Bay. New England's defense has been performing well. You have one of the top 3-4 players going for MVP right now in Drake May. He seems to have grasped the offense. He's had 8 strong weeks from the beginning. So I think I would take the points with New England.
This San Francisco and Rams game, I'm looking at the NFC games here, obviously.
Right.
What do you make of that when their Rams go into San Francisco? That's always been a pretty good matchup between Shanahan and McVay.
Yeah, you got Mac Jones. You're talking about Jones quarterbacking that he's going to eventually maybe unseat Purdy. That's never going to happen. Jones has been hot, just like Jacoby Brissett has been hot, but they know they're second stringers, but they're going to ride the pony until he lets up. Right now, Purdy could come back this week, but I think while they're on the run, maybe they play Jones. If they don't, they'll play Purdy. Here's my deal. The San Francisco 49ers are dogs in this game against the Rams. I think it's 3.5, and home. If Purdy was playing, it would be a picket.
All right, are you buying your Bears? I ask you this every week. Are you buying your Bears?
No, not yet.
No.
Well, they've lost. The 5 teams they've beaten are 12-31 total record. 12-31. The teams they've lost to are 12-12. So the teams they've beaten are a collective 19 under 500. They've beaten Cincinnati without Burrow. They've beaten the Raiders on a blocked field goal. They beat Washington on a fumble. Okay, here's the deal. They should beat the Giants this week to go 6-3. But why don't you pull up the Bears schedule there and take a look at their last 6-7 games, and then we'll see where the rubber meets the road.
Mike, I got to tell you what people are saying. They don't believe this is you. They believe this is AI.
I don't even know Allen Iverson. Oh, Allen Iverson or that AI they're talking about that's supposed to be good.
Yeah, I think people are not talking AI. The answer. I think.
Well, what are they upset about? That I told the truth?
No. I think what they're saying is this can't be Mike North because I don't know. It sounds too. I don't know. I mean,
Does my voice sound different?
No. I don't know. I just, I think, you know what? Because that half Italian in you, Mike, I think when you throw your hands around, there's more emphasis on how you throw.
You can't even see me, though, I thought.
Yeah, no, I can't. Wait,
don't stereotype us Italian. Don't stereo. You know how we are about that.
Wait.
I know you're Italian. I get it.
Listen, you don't think I know you're not throwing your hands around even if I can't see you?
Yeah.
Are you buying your Bulls?
Oh, yeah. I watched you guys blow it the other night up 24 points, and my guys just passed the ball around, dissected you guys. Embiid limping around like he always does. Embiid, I call him Chester from the old Gunsmoke series. All he does is limp. The guy, he got the bag and then he started limping. You know what I mean? That's my deal.
All right, I got one last one here for you, and I'm gonna. You and I may get into our first disagreement here.
We've had a couple, but we're very civilized.
How about this?
Yeah.
What's Notre Dame doing in the freaking playoff? We beat them.
Yeah, I know.
Doing in the playoff, and
you guys have had better. You guys have had more impressive. If you were going to lose, you lost to better teams too. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. They're Notre Dame. That's why they don't have to join the conference because they figure if we lose 2 games, we're still strong enough. And here's the deal: there'll probably be a couple of other teams, maybe from the SEC, that got 2 losses. So that will silence everybody if Notre Dame gets in because. It's going to be just an extension of the playoffs before. You got the same group of white-collar guys walking in with the big cigars and deciding who they want in, who they want out, and stuff like that. So Notre Dame, if they lose again, they're done. But they do know they can have 2 losses a year, especially at the beginning of the season, and probably get away with it. It's not fair, but I'm telling you, putting Notre Dame in the tournament puts millions of eyes on it. Millions of eyes on the tournament.
I'll tell you this. I think that pick coming up in 2 weeks, I think that game's going to be a tough ball game for them. That Pitt team's pretty good with that freshman quarterback.
You know what? And if they run the table, that's fine. I remember they made it last year to the championship, and they lost to Northern Illinois, which was like in the old days, you lose to Northern Illinois. I don't care if it's 1 loss, you're finished. You're finished. Instead, they ended up in the championship game after winning, doing what they're doing now, winning one after the other.
Mike, is college football big in Chicago?
Not like the pros. Not like the pros. I mean, that's like asking me. See, to me, I'm more of a pro guy. I'm a Bear fan and an NFL fan. Northwestern and Illinois just don't kick the scales. I mean, that would be like asking a guy in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no, Reid.
With Temple, some of these other teams. Philadelphia, to me, is a pro town. Chicago, to me, is a pro town. Carolina is like a college town. North Carolina.
Yeah.
Teams like that.
Do you think it's more of a Notre Dame town, Chicago?
Oh, yeah. Notre Dame is definitely – Chicago has a strong alumni base. And plus, we're raised on Notre Dame football. I mean, in the papers when we were kids, Notre Dame was featured like they were like from Chicago. So, and they had a big storied franchise back then. So, yeah, Notre Dame is huge. I mean, Notre Dame is the New York Yankees of major, what the Yankees are to baseball. So, I think with the 12-team format, they're going to sneak in, but if they lose again, they'll be out.
I really like the guy Marcus Freeman. I mean,
great.
I think they upgraded. Oh, hey, how about this? He thought that he was going to go into the Southeastern Conference and win just 10 games, and that was going to be enough. And that wasn't enough. Mike, those jobs down there, on all those payouts, what do you make of all those payouts that you're seeing? He got $54 million on the way out the door for losing.
That's a shame. That's a shame, and it's happened before. Brian Kelly's a grifter. He's a fraud. From the time he invented his fake accent, going down there, it really turned a lot of people off. A mean-spirited guy on the sidelines with some of his players and his coaches. Never sold me. I'm glad he left, but you got to be a fool to leave Notre Dame. I know that Freeman's been approached numerous times already to leave Notre Dame, and he has told them absolutely not. That's the most coveted job, I think, in college football. The head coach of Notre Dame. I mean, can you imagine it? Like if one of us got the job, you've made the top of the heap.
I know it's like the Dallas Cowboys job.
Yeah. Well, now hold on. I had a discussion with somebody. I like Jerry Jones, and I like that. Jerry Jones is an owner who has been treated with kid gloves. He's one of the worst GMs in the history of football, but he owns the team. But this crap that Dallas is still America's team, that's finished. That's finished. They haven't won since Christ was a child. So, I mean, they haven't won since Patton was a corporal, for God's sake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they haven't won since Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky were friends.
Yeah.
That's the last time they.
Yeah, that to me, they don't call them. If you notice now on TV, America's team, that slogan, that thing is not talked about all that much anymore. They don't bring that up. I think in the past 20 years, New England was America's team, to be honest with you. You had the Golden Boy at quarterback. You're winning 7 Super Bowls. You're in a big city, a big state like Massachusetts. And now you got the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, these teams are far and away better than the Dallas Cowboy organization. So, Dallas is just another team to me.
Let me one last one for you. Let me think
keep
this
going. I like this. When you say one last one, we keep rolling.
Let me go. Do you think it's a possibility that the Ravens and Chiefs could play for the NFC Championship game?
No, I don't think so. I do think that Kansas City's got a shot because of who's been there, Patrick Mahomes. But that the Ravens are going to win. They got to win every game. Every game's a playoff game to them now. Every game. So starting Sunday, you better win because if they trip up once, and you know what? The defense of the Ravens is not what it was. And Lamar Jackson is great. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to be tough for them to make it this year. There's a loss or two in there somewhere because I saw a bunch of good teams lose last week that nobody thought would lose.
AFC Championship, I meant. Josh Allen, elite or non-elite?
Oh, he's elite. I'd take him tomorrow. But I don't. He's got to beat Mahomes, though, to be known as a well, I think he's elite. So you just brought up Lamar Jackson, and you consider him elite. So I would probably consider Josh Allen elite, but Mahomes the boss until further notice. And Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts is the boss. Those two guys are the bosses until further notice.
So Jalen Hurts, in your opinion, is an elite quarterback?
Absolutely. The last 2 weeks have been like unbelievable by him. And he won't have the stats, but he just wins. I've said it, and I remember being on here about a month and a half ago, and we were discussing it, and I said, don't worry about it. He's going to be fine, but you're going to have some games where you're going to be not. Barkley's the guy that's got to get moving. I mean, put down the commercials and start running the football a little bit. He's got all the commercials now. Now it's time for him to pay up too. But right now, you guys are 6-2. Soon to be 6-3, though, unfortunately.
Oh, Mike, we will see. Hey, Mike, listen, we'll get this.
You can have me for supper. Yeah, you can have me for supper on next Friday.
Listen, next Friday, 4:30, we will fix the camera stuff and we will set this up again. Are we good for next Friday?
I tell you that every week, but to do it that way, I had a special new toupee on today. Sorry about the camera. That picture I have up there now is me answering interrogation questions by the Chicago Police Department. They saw the mysterious man leave a back room That picture there is beautiful. That's when I coached at Notre Dame High School prep.
I
Yeah.
love that there, Mike. Mike,
Yeah.
we'll catch you next week, brother.
All right. Thanks,
You
buddy.
got it. That is my friend Mike North there. All right. Look at that. We make it work no matter what. I love that, dude. This is what we do here at JAKIB. Rain nor sleet nor snow. We are here. Xander and I are like the mail. We always deliver. Do you understand that? We are like the mail. We are always here, no days off, work our ass off. We're as reliable as the United States mail. How you doing? Now, soon, the legendary Philly Godfather. Where's my boy's book, man? I can't wait to get my boy up here, man. Absolutely. By the way, he's got the Green Bay Packers on Monday. And listen, I'm not with him on that pick, though. I'm going the Eagles on that. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? That's only in your world, Junior. Big Silz time. I'm never late. I'm on Big Silz time. You may think I'm late. I'm late to you and late to me are two different things, Junior. By the way, I got shit yesterday from Big Z's dad. Hey, let's try to start on time today. And like, wait, what? Holy shit. Z leaves the room for a minute. How about starting on time? Listen to your friend, Silz. Irvin, North. Philly. They all say Hurts is elite jackass. Yeah, elite. 2905. Elite. Yeah, okay. Big Silz. Time needs recalculate. I don't know. Mike North. I got this already, man. How you doing? How you doing? Silz, what did Aunt Betty say about the segment with Coach B? Now, this is going to be, do you guys want him back on? He asked me to come back on next week. Do you want Coach JB on next week again? Do you want him on? Actually, elite is spelled B-I-G-S-I-L-Z. Big Silz. Hey, Sue, you want Coach JB on? All right. By the way, they're starting to get some articles written about him throwing shade on Jalen Hurts. The Eagles win in spite of Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Oh, my God. That's like one of my favorites. They win in spite of him. Hell yeah. All right. We will ask him. I'll ask him today to come on Tuesday of next week. We'll see if we can get his ass up here, man, and get him on with us. All right. Let me pay some bills here. Guys, I appreciate you. The legendary Philly Godfather. He's going to be on next. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. It is because they win. Thousands of attorneys from coast to coast, making sure they defend families like yours if you've ever been injured at your work. Listen, they don't get paid unless you win. Simple as that. Do me a favor. Check them out at forthepeople.com/Big Silz or pound law 529. It's forthepeople.com/Big Silz or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Silz sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Silz National Football Show. Please hit the like button. Super Chats go to the top. And my good friend, the Philly Godfather, will be joining us in a couple minutes. So we'll talk to him. Before I get going here, I want to set you guys up with something I had a conversation with Drew Rosenhaus. Jaylen Phillips is in the best situation he could possibly hope to have been in when you're changing teams because of the relationship that Howie Roseman has with Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus, you got to understand the history with these guys. Drew Rosenhaus went to the University of Miami. Howie Roseman went to the University of Florida. These guys have known each other for a long time. I mean, this goes back a long time. And they've got a great relationship with one another. And Jaylen Phillips right now, if there's going to be a guy who's going to benefit the most, having been dealt to a football team, is the fact that you want your agent to have a great relationship with the general manager of the football team. You know that guy, Dave Magola, the guy out of Houston? You can guarantee you this. His relationship with Jerry Jones after that Michael Parsons disaster, I can guarantee you that guy trying to deal with Jerry Jones moving forward will not be a factor. And then even with Stephen Jones, that is not going to be a factor. Any client he has, Jerry Jones is such an egomaniac that if he found out that a player coming up in the April draft was represented by that guy, he would go in a different direction. He is not going to have a relationship with Jerry Jones. Howie Roseman doesn't have that with, I'm not saying every agent likes Howie, and I'm not saying that he deals with everyone on the same wavelength that he deals with Drew Rosenhaus. But he and Rosenhaus have a fucking great relationship. And from what Robert Bailey, who works with Drew, told me, he's a former Miami Hurricane, Robert Bailey. Look it up. He's his right-hand man next to Rosenhaus's brother. Howie Roseman has already told Jaylen Phillips, you come in here and you produce, we're going to have a conversation at the end of the year. I'm excited for the kid. I think the kid has an opportunity to be in Philly. How old is he? What is his age? 25? He could be there until he's 30. Like, he could have a 5-year career and a really good contract. I said this to you yesterday. I know some of you didn't want to hear it. I have no problem giving him the Arizona Josh Sweat contract. He's that kind of guy. See this right here with Gabe? Hey, Gabe, I'm promising you this. I am too. I'm excited for the kid. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to play with good football players like Jalen Carter near him and Zach Bond behind him. He's never had that when he was in Miami. It's been helter-skelter. And, Clint Hurd has already told him, you're going to come in here, and he may be the biggest beneficiary, Jalen Carter, by having a guy like a Jaelan Phillips playing next to him. And this would also alleviate you having to go into the draft and getting an edge rusher. Think about this. If this guy, how old is he? By the way, somebody throw his age at me. I thought he was 25. He might be 25 heading on 26 because he transferred from UCLA before he came to the University of Miami. So he might be 26. I don't know. He's 26? Okay, that sounds about right. So he'd be here for the next 4 or 5 years. That he could be an impact football player. And then you're talking about corner. Look, your needs in the draft coming up are corner, tight end, and I would say O-line and depth in your D-line. Time will tell, Silz. We'll see how he's used and how productive. He is starting on Monday. I believe I think he's starting on Monday. I think he's going to be a starter, and they're going to have him in there on Monday. He's going to make an immediate impact on your football team. And Xander's like, well, Silz is giving this guy really great kudos because he's a Miami guy. That is true. Good to know about the relationship with Drew. Drew Rosenhaus and Howie Roseman have a fabulous relationship. Okay? You saw Drew Rosenhaus in the New York game. And you saw him in the New York game talking. And by the way, I found this out. Remember I said that Jalen Carter didn't want to play? This is what and how it went down. Howie Roseman and Jalen Carter said, listen, it's banged up. Howie, what do you want to do? It's so smart by Rosenhaus. They didn't go. I'm wrong. They didn't go to Howie Roseman and say, we're not playing. They went to Howie Roseman and said, listen, he's hurt. He doesn't really feel that he has a lot of, weight on that foot. And so he doesn't feel that he's going to be able to give you 100% in the game. Howie made the call and said, okay, well, we're going to hold him out then. So that is how that went down in New York. It wasn't the agent going to them going, we're not playing. Okay? I think he's similar to Goddard in a way. That you don't question the player, you question the health when signing long-term. I hope he stays healthy. JD3, Dallas Goedert is in kind of a different position, though. Okay? Because to me, Dallas Goedert, why in the world would Dallas Goedert want to come back to Philadelphia? Now, you win another Super Bowl. Maybe Howie comes back and makes it right. And they give him the signing bonus money. Hey, listen, let me ask you something on Dallas Goedert. John and Xander said that they were talking about this. Tell me if you're a player, you would buy this. Because I'm going to lay a scenario out. You ask him to take a $4 million haircut, right? Howie comes back. If this guy, you guys win the Super Bowl, you guys get to the NFC title game. He has 700 yards receiving, 65 catches, say he has 12 TDs. It's a pretty fucking good year in that offensive passing attack. Say he comes back to you and goes, hey, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give you a 3-year contract. Okay? We're going to pay you $15 million annually. And we're going to give you a signing bonus of $25 million. So basically, it's going to average out to something like, with the signing bonus, somewhere in the conversation of $16 million. You make up for the money you lost. You get the money in the bank. You get the $18 million guarantee. Would that be worth $4 million to you? I gave $4 million away to get an $18 million signing bonus. Doesn't that make sense? Right? Okay, I gave 4 away, but I got 18 back in a signing guaranteed in my bank account. Instead of money promised, it's money in the bank. Doesn't that make more sense? Right? Says I also think it's time to get younger. Well, you could draft a tight end this is not a big tight end draft coming up. I mean, if you were going to draft a tight end, it was a year ago. Reyes, right? $4 million. Okay, I took a $4 million pay cut, which sucks. But I come back and he offers me a 3-year contract at $14 million a year, my normal number that I should be making anyway. They give me the signing bonus up front, but I've got guarantees for the next 3 years. Plus, Hurts wants me. I might walk back on that and go, I'll take it. I had to take the $4 million haircut. Trust me when I tell you, that's not something people want to do. So is any tight end we should be keeping an eye on out from the college ranks? You know what? I looked at that, and I think there's really the only guy that I'm looking at is the guy from Oregon, and he's a first-round pick, and he's down in the 20s. He could drop down, and I don't believe that they're going to go and get a I don't believe that they're going to get a tight end in the first round. That's not going to be a position where they're going to go tight end. They're probably going to go, like I said, maybe another edge. And depending on, by the way, let's say this to you about the edge room here. Okay, if Jalen Hunt doesn't pan out and Nolan Smith gets hurt again, you're going back into the draft on an edge to go on the other side of Phillips. Hey, and remember this. If Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith, say Nolan Smith can't stay healthy, you bet your ass you're paying Jaylen Phillips that money. Why would you pay Jaylen Phillips that money? Because you don't have a fucking edge rusher. His value goes up, and his value is high. Why? Because Nolan Smith can't stay healthy. That Ohio State dude is a big dude, and he's a blocker in the run game too. So Jaylen Phillips is in a great spot based on what you have. I think Jalen Hunt, I think he's coming around. I'm not down on him. You guys were pumping him up to be the next Brandon Graham. I think the kid has a chance to still be a good player by the end of the year. Remember all the guys that I said by the end of the year? I think Ringo's looking a little better. Not a lot. I said he'd be better by the end of the year. Depends on what your offense does on third down, getting him off the field. I also said Jalen Hunt's going to get better by the end of the season. I've got more confidence in Jalen Hunt than I do Nolan Smith. And I think the Eagles do too. If you told me in the next 3 years your starting ends and your edge rushers are going to be Jaylen Phillips and Jalen Hunt, both guys are big dudes. I think you got bigger at the edge adding Phillips. You were small at the edges. So I think you got better. Look, I'm thrilled. I don't want to get over my skis with Jaylen Phillips. Remember, because I told you when you signed him, always add this to the context. If he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, he's a fabulous ball. I'm trying to think of somebody in the NFL right now. Like, who was the guy that played in Dallas? What was the guy on the other side of Micah Parsons a year ago? Who was the guy? I forget his name. Help me out. I believe right now he's in Seattle. I think he's in Seattle right now. Who's that guy that Dexter Lawrence or DeMarcus Lawrence? He's like that. That's the kind of guy he is. He's like DeMarcus Lawrence. Do you guys think DeMarcus Lawrence was a good football player in Dallas? I think he's like that. Has some sweat tendencies too. So if I were going to make a comparison, I'd make a comparison to DeMarcus Lawrence. Okay? I think when healthy, he's a hell of a player too. You're playing on a shitty football team. When you're playing on a shitty football team, the chances of you excelling are very limited. Okay? So, I would, yes. He's a good football player. I'd put him in that DeMarcus Lawrence. Absolutely. All right, folks, tell you what. I got to tell you, man, one of the absolute, and I get this all the time, I get people from all over. Even Coach JB, who was on the program this week, he was saying this, Silz, I love that segment that you do with the Philly Godfather. And I said, I know, man, it's a dope-ass segment, man, and we go over all the NFL teams. And this guy's all plugged in. He gives you some college football games as well. So I'm glad you guys like that comparison because I think he is like DeMarcus Lawrence, and I think this Jaylen Phillips kid is. And I like the kid a lot. I've known him a long time, and I think he's going to make a big impact on Monday night. So let's, without further ado, my friend, each and every single Friday at 5:30, he gives you the best analysis and breakdowns of every single game to try to make you guys some money and some college football games. He is our friend, the legendary Philly Godfather, joins us right now.
What's up, Dan?
How you doing, bro? How's it going? Man, what a week you had last week, huh?
Yeah, we killed it. We had a good weekend. We don't always win like that kind of insane rate, but we'll take it. I mean, it pays the bills. These NFL players, these basketball players, they don't pay our mortgage. They don't pay our rents. They don't pay our car payments. So we got to do extensive research. And you guys are the X and O guys. I mean, you know more about football than I'll ever know. But when it comes to the betting market, I know a couple things about that.
Hey, you think? I absolutely think you do. By the way, I've always said this about you guys. I may break down games. You put your wallet on the table each and every single week, and you're the guys putting the money on. That's why those guys, hey, I tell folks all the time, they don't build castles on the Vegas Strip because they lose.
Yeah, I mean, they're using your money, and if you don't do the research, and it's okay if you treat it like entertainment. If you go to a concert, you spend $500 or $200 for a ticket, and you have a good time for 3 hours, and then your money's gone. That's okay if you bet $20 on a game. The problem is, when you're betting too many games and you're not doing your homework and you don't know the math behind the wagers, and the point spread's always a great equalizer. It's easy to say who's going to win, but can they cover the spread? That's the hard part.
Absolutely, it's covering the spread. All right, let's start it out here, and let's go Eagles and Packers. Hey, by the way, this game on Monday night looks like Green Bay is a 1.5 favorite, which may shock some people going into this game. It's 46.5. I'm not sure that that's going to be a lot of points scored. The weather's supposed to be flurries on Monday night, and it's supposed to be pretty cold going into that football game. I know we're in November already, but how do you like this game, and who do you see winning this ball game?
I mean, it's tough because if you look at the bet splits, it seems kind of easy for the Eagles to go over there and win that game. Right around 75% of early action is on Philly. So anytime the public's heavily on one side, I kind of just, start digging deeper to form an educated guess, on who's going to cover the spread here. The Eagles look good. I mean, they're 6-2. They got the best record in the NFC. But if you look at their point differential in the season, there's 4 teams with better point differentials, and the Packers just happen to be one of them. It's hard to argue with the success this team has had, but when you start digging, I mean, the Eagles rank outside the top 15 in both offensively and defensively, and yards per play and opponent yards per play. And they've been a little bit of lucky. Luck has helped them out. They're still, I think, 5th or 6th in luck ratio on the season. On the road, they're 3-1. Surprisingly, they lost to the Giants on the road. But if you look at those games, they beat who they beat? They beat the Vikings, the Buccaneers, and the Chiefs. But they won those games because, their opponents turned the ball over. The Vikings lost a turnover differential 2-0. Buccaneers lost it 2-0, and the Chiefs lost it 1-0. So they got a +5 turnover differential in those 3 road games. So they were a little lucky in those games. They also haven't faced a defense as good as the Packers on the road this season. They haven't faced a defense in the top 10 actually on the road this season. And the Packers are ranked, I think, 2nd only behind the Broncos. And you saw the problem the Broncos gave the Eagles earlier in the season. So I kind of like it's not going to be a popular opinion, but I think the Packers win the game. I think they cover the spread. I think they'll be able to run the ball on the Eagles. And this is going to be the toughest defense the Eagles have faced probably this year. So it's going to be a tough game for them, especially with the Packers coming off that loss to the Panthers. They're going to be really hungry.
By the way, the Panthers aren't a slouch of a football team either now. They're 5-4 on the year. So they've obviously been one of the more improved teams. So you think this is maybe the best defense that the Eagles have played all year?
Yeah, it's them and the Broncos, but the best defense they've played on the road all season. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's get into the other games here. So Falcons and Colts, it's at home. Oh, excuse me. This is a Germany game. So this is the international game here. 48.5, 6.5 points the Falcons are getting. Are the Colts real? They're 7-2. I believe they had a loss this past week. Do you like them to turn the ship around and go to 8-2 on the season?
I mean, they're a good team. They're laying almost a touchdown in Germany. Those games are always wacky over there. Line opened up 7. It's down to 6.5. And like you said, the Colts are coming off that loss to the Steelers as 3-point favorites. Falcons actually almost had a chance to beat the Patriots last week. If they don't miss that field goal, game might have went to overtime. They were 5.5-point underdogs. So even though they're a little banged up, and unfortunately they're banged up again this week heading into this game in Germany, their overall health score is I think it's like 12 points less than the Colts, so that's an issue. Their pass defense is really banged up, so Danny Jones should have a big day if you're looking to bet his over props and passing yards. But again, a touchdown, it's a lot of points in the NFL. Man, I guess the Colts at anything under a touchdown is probably the right side, but I'd rather put them in a teaser, get them down to basically a pick 'em. I think that's probably the safer way to play it. I think Jonathan Taylor has a big day because that Falcons run defense, I think they're ranked like 20th or 21st in opponent yards for rush attempts. So if you want to look at his over rushing props, I think he has a big day. But I think the best way to play it is maybe put him in a teaser, maybe like the Bills. You get the Bills down to -2.5, who's playing Miami, 7-point teaser, and you probably cash a ticket that way.
Do you think that you would have taken the points in the Colts if it was in Indy?
Yeah, no, definitely if it was in Indy. I mean, at home. But again, these games overseas are always wacky.
They are.
Falcons have played teams tough, man. And, they've been banged up all year, and they still find a way to be very competitive.
Yep.
Last week, they almost shocked the Patriots.
Yep, absolutely. This game here is a freaky game here, and I'm going Ravens and Vikings. And I believe the Vikings are getting 3.5 in this ball game here. And you got a 3-5 Ravens team that's now starting to win some ball games. I mean, I saw a couple places where they got the Ravens winning the AFC North. And this is after being and having that horrific record of 2-5. And now they've won a couple games in a row. And you got this Vikings team that's still kind of hanging in there. They're 4-4. I think it's a defensive team mostly than anything else right now because of Brian Flores. It's in Minneapolis. Do the Ravens get to 4-5 on a year with this?
Well, I mean, both teams are healthy. Both pass defenses are really healthy. And you guys know I'm not a big fan of this Vikings team. I went under 9.5 wins before the season started. Even though I did bet them last week against the Lions, I just thought that was too many points. I'm not a big fan of the Vikings, and the bookmakers, they don't respect Minnesota either. I mean, they're making them a 4-point underdog at home after beating the Lions, which surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're not getting much respect in the sports betting market. I kind of like Baltimore here. There's some 3.5s out there if you want to buy the hook down to 3 or lay the 3.5. They look like they're back on track. They've won 2 games in a row by, I think, like an average of 18 points. So they're looking really healthy. They're looking like they've got their mojo back. And like you said, they might go on a nice run here. And you can probably lay like 45 cents or minus 150 on Baltimore to win their division. That might be a good bet because if you look at the teams remaining on their schedule, there's maybe like 2 tough games left. So they might run the table. Yeah, I like Baltimore here at minus 3, 3.5. I think they're the better team. And they're healthy finally.
So usually I wouldn't do this one either, but it's the Bills, and they go down to South Florida. You know, there was a garage sale down there. They got rid of Jaylen Phillips. They didn't get rid of everybody down there, but would you take the Bills and the almost 10 points, 9.5? Would you take the Bills or would you stick with the Dolphins at home? Because this is a game. I'm talking about point spread here now. Do you take the Dolphins and the 9.5?
I can't do it. Honestly, I think this game might get ugly. Miami's pass defense is like the third or I think the fourth most banged up of any team heading into Sunday. 10 points is a lot in the NFL, but we might see Josh Allen throw for like 300 yards here. Miami also has an issue. They love turning the ball over. I think they rank only behind the Jets. I think they're like in second to last place of turnover differential. So a couple of turnovers. That team's, I think they're done for the season. 9.5 seems like a lot of points, but I think Buffalo covers the spread, and you probably put them in teasers too. Tease them down to minus 2.5 and a 7-point teaser. And don't be surprised if they put up like 60 points here combined. I think this could be a blowout.
I won't bore you with Browns and Jets. We'll leave that alone here. How about this one here? Jags and Texans. I hear CJ Stroud's not playing in this game. Yeah. The Jags could go to 6-3 on the season, but here's what the freaky point about this is. So no CJ Stroud, but yet they're only getting a point?
I know, right?
In this ball game, does that kind of nerve you there when you're only seeing at home? You got the Jags who look like the better football team, but they're only getting a point.
It feels like Vegas is trying to reel you in.
Yeah, like really in here on this.
I mean, I'm not rushing to the window to invest in Davis Mills and the Texans here. I mean, if you look at what he did last week, I don't think the Texans offense scored a touchdown, and I think they punted like 6 straight times in the second half of that game. So he had an issue, on the offensive side, moving the ball down the field. Even though it was a close game, and if CJ would have played, I think they would have won that game, but he was knocked out early. But then again, I'm not eager to bet the Jags either as 1.5-point road favorites. The Texans got one of the best defenses in the NFL. This game's kind of tough to handicap. Both teams are a little banged up heading into Sunday. The Jags defense, they really have no pressure rate. They've had, they struggled getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks all year. I think they rank in like the bottom of the league in sacks per game. So offensively, both teams, not that great. 21st and 22nd in the yards per play metric. This is a tough game. I'm kind of leaning towards the Texans a little bit. They're hungry. They got 2 less wins on the season. It seems like every game now they're in playoff mode. It's do or die. If they lose another game, that might be it for the rest of the season. They're the hungrier team. I kind of like the Texans a little bit, plus 1.5 at home.
So let's go to this one here. Bucks are getting 2.5 at home. I got the pay. You know what? And I didn't know this. And I was on my Tampa show this morning, and I didn't know that the Bucks were underdogs in this ball game.
Yeah, I think they're favored. I think they're
Are they favored?
Yeah, they're 2.5-point favorite.
Okay, they're giving the Pats 2.5. Okay. So I said this. I go, I got New England winning this game. I think that now look, they may be getting Luke Gedeke back, the right tackle. They still don't have Bucky Irvin, and they still don't have Chris Godwin. He's not in this ball game here. They've lost Kalijah Kancey on their defensive line, and boy, this Patriots team has played really good football against really good football teams. Do you take the Pats going on the road to win this, or do you stick with the Bucks in this one?
It's a tough game to call because, like you said, the Patriots are a much healthier team. Drake May, he's played lights out. I think he's got the third best odds still to win the MVP, which nobody would have guessed before the season started. It's tough. I mean, you're laying under a field goal with the Buccaneers, who've been very competitive, even though they've been banged up. And the Patriots, they win like 5 in a row, so they're going to be a little overvalued in the market here. Buccaneers defense is better than the Patriots. I think they rank 10 spots higher than the Patriots. They don't turn the ball over much. Oh, man. Buccaneers pass rush is probably the best the Patriots have faced all season.
Yep.
This one's tough to call. New England's offensive line isn't the best. I think they rank like 29th in the NFL in sacks allowed per game. I'm leaning towards Tampa Bay a little bit at -2.5, only because of that Patriots offensive line. It's not the best, so it might give Drake May some problems this week.
This one here, the reason I'm going to bring this up, look, the Saints stink. There's no getting around it. However, it's the Panthers. And have they really figured out how to win? They go into that game against the Packers and beat them and BTA'd them, belt to ass. They just whooped them up there, man. I mean, and they're 5-4. It's at home. They're giving the Saints 5.5. Do you take the 5.5 and the Panthers in this one against that Saints team?
Well, like you just said, even though they beat the Packers and they beat them on the road, it's
at
just
Lambeau.
Yeah, it's hard for me to lay 5.5 points on Carolina. It means they're going to have to probably win by a touchdown. So it's a lot of points for this team to lay. If you look at the turnover situation, they've both had issues this year turning the ball over. Offensively, neither team is that good. I think they rank near the bottom of the NFL in the yards per play metric, points scored per game. Defensively, I mean, you call it a wash, even though the Saints rank a few spots higher in the opponent yards per play metric. And not to take anything away from Carolina, they've had a solid season so far.
Yeah.
But they rank third in luck ratio, so the ball really has bounced their way a little bit. And what they win 4 of their last 5 or something like that. They play some pretty good football. But if the line gets to 6, I probably look to take the Saints +6. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of scoring here. Probably under 40 or under 30.5 on the total is probably a better way to bet it.
One of your favorite football teams that I'm still trying to figure out if you figured out yet, Bears and the Gigantes, the Giants.
Yeah.
They are giving the Giants 4.5. And if there's any football team that you have struggled with all year long by trying to figure who they are out, it's been the Bears.
Yeah.
Do the Bears go to 6-3?
And last week, I took the Bears last week, and then we were winning the whole game. Then I thought we were dead, and then they had a miraculous catch at the end, and we covered the spread. It was one of the wildest finishes, if you did bet on the Bears. I was starting to like this Giants team a little bit, but they're so banged up. It's just it's hard to bet on them. I mean, their offense is ranked in the basement of the NFL in like every stat. The Giants defense is ranked, I think, 27th in opponent yards per play. And over recent play, over the last 3 games, it's been even worse. Bears can score, man. I think they're ranked 5th or 6th in scoring. They're ranked number 1 in turnover differential, and I think their defense leads the league in takeaways. I think they got like 19 or 20 takeaways on the season. So, they're ball hawks back there for that Bears defense. At home, if you lay 4 on the Bears, it's probably right side. Bears -4 is probably the right side.
So this one here, it's in Seattle. Boy, Seattle is playing great football, man. That receiver is on pace right now for 2K and to break Megatron's record for the all-time single season mark for receiving yards. And I got to tell you, with the addition of Walter Nolan and the way that Jacoby Brissett played on Monday night, I know it's a short work week, but, and when you look at the point differential in the losses that the Cardinals have had this year, they've played pretty competitive football the entire year. This is one of those lines where you do this. The Cardinals' record really is not indicative of what kind of football team they are when they don't turn it over. And now they decided to go with Brissett, even though Kyler Murray's healthy in this game. But Seattle's just playing lights-out football. Mike McDonald has done a great job. They're at home. One of the tougher places to play is up there in Seattle. Let me get the points again here. It's 6.5 that they're giving the Cardinals. Boy, I like the Cardinals in the 6.5 here. Says you.
I kind of agree with you, man. I think Brissett's might be an upgrade. He's thrown for like almost 900 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yep.
And they haven't been playing, they played some good teams. They played the Colts, the Packers, and the Cowboys are half decent. So he's put up good numbers against some half decent teams, and you're getting almost 7 points. And like you said, Arizona's lost, 5 games this year by an average of just 2.6 points.
Yeah.
And no loss has been by more than 4 points. And the last time these two teams played, I think Murray threw 2 interceptions. And, they ended up losing 23-20 to Seattle. It's a division game. You're getting a touchdown. I'm with you, man. I kind of like Arizona +7 here. I think it's too many points.
It is. And we go to the toilet bowl known as Landover, Maryland, and Northwest Stadium, the worst stadium on the planet, according to the great Merrill Reese. Lions dropped a game last week, and I think you're getting the greatness of Marcus Mariota, who's going to be – and here's the best part of it. And this is what makes these games really hard for you, I would think. Okay, there's no doubt Lions, Commanders, you got the Lions in this game. But then they drop that caveat of that 8.5 that the Commanders are getting. Do you feel confident enough that the Lions are going to go into Washington and cover that 8.5?
Are we calling them the Commanders, Redskins? What are we
Redskins. I call them Redskins.
All right, the Redskins have the worst pass defense in the league. Maybe them and the Cowboys, right? The Lions score the second most points in the NFL. Detroit's coming off a loss. That's a dangerous combination for the Redskins. The total's 49. That feels kind of short. They might score 60, 70 points in this one. I think the Lions destroy them. It's kind of square because the whole world's going to be betting the Lions. I just don't see how how Washington competes in this football game, especially with the Lions coming off a loss. They're going to be upset. If you want to bet the Lions -8, 8.5, you want to put them in money line parlays with the Bills, put them in teasers. I think you're going to end up making money as long as you're on the Lions here. Yeah.
Take the Lions in the 8.5.
Yeah,
okay.
8.5, yeah.
All right. This is a good one here, too. This is Rams and 49ers, the late game. It's in Santa Clara, home of the Super Bowl this year. And, 49.5 points in this ball game. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the 49ers are getting, is it 4.5?
Yeah, anywhere from 4 to 4.5. Yep.
4.5 there. Rams are 6-2. And I'm going to tell you this. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC.
They're pretty good.
I think Matthew Stafford's playing MVP football here. I don't think anybody in the league's playing better football at the quarterback position. And I think they have gotten better and better and better. Ever since that Eagle game, even, they've gotten better. Do they cover those points? Do you take that 4.5? And do you think they go in there? And by the way, McVay and Kyle Shanahan, that's always been a really good battle between these two guys. How do you like this one?
It's a divisional matchup. The home team's catching points. I'd normally look to take the underdog, but San Fran did win the first time around, and they were really lucky because, I think the Rams had 2 turnovers in that game. McVay had a couple brain cramps, made some bad decisions. But San Fran's just so banged up here. I think the Rams have like a +18 health score better than San Francisco going into this game. I like the Rams here -4. Revenge factor. I don't see them turning the ball over twice again like they did the first time. I think that was in week 4 or week 5. Going back to that game, the Rams had more total yards, But like I said, the 2 turnovers really cost them that game. I don't see that happening again. I don't see McVay having those brain cramps again like he did in that last game. I like the Rams here -4 in San Fran.
This is going to be a tell me game. And tell me who the Steelers are and tell me who the Chargers are. I mean, I've seen the Chargers look incredibly great this year. And then I've seen also the Steelers not have a run game. Aaron Rodgers has really played some pretty damn good football. The Chargers are favored by 2.5 in this ball game here. I mean, it's in SoFi Stadium. I mean, who do you like here? I mean, Steelers are going to travel. There's going to be a great contingency at that stadium in Inglewood. I mean, but the Chargers, you know, one week they look like this, then the Colts kick their ass. It's 45-2 for the over-under. Do you think Aaron Rodgers goes in and wins this game, or is this a Herbert and Jim Harbaugh game?
It's going to be a close game. I mean, the line opened up 3.5. It's down to 2.5, so there's some sharp money on the Steelers right off the bat. They're coming off a big win over the Colts that we predicted last week. People thought we were crazy. I told you guys, bet them on the money line. They're going to beat the Colts. But they do have to travel cross country. The Steelers are a much healthier team. Chargers' offensive line is banged up. That kind of hurts them a little bit. You got 2 pretty good defenses. Kind of like the under 45 here. But if you grab, I guess, +3 or better on Pittsburgh, it's probably the right side. I mean, the Steelers rank 2nd in the NFL in turnover differential. The Chargers have struggled to protect the football this season, so they had issues turning the ball over. Chargers defense, not the best at stopping the run. So if Pittsburgh can establish a run game, control the clock, 2 good defensive teams, it probably comes down to a field goal. So if you get +3 on the Steelers in a coin flip game, it's probably a right side.
Let me take you to some college games. And I think there's a few of them. I don't think there's a ton of really great college matchups, but one of them is BYU and Texas Tech. Now, these 2 teams currently right now are playoff contending teams. I mean, number 7 BYU and number 8 Texas Tech. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Texas Tech is 10-point favorites in this ball game. It's 51.5. I mean, it's in Lubbock, Texas here. Boy, I mean, that's a lot of points for a team that throws the ball all over the yard. By the way, the young freshman or the freshman quarterback at BYU has been banged up, but I think he's going to play in this ball game. I mean, do you think Tech first wins, or do you think BYU covers the points here? Because that offense puts a lot of points up.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to slow that offense down. And if he's close to being 100%, it's going to be hard for Tech to cover that points. But it's a lot of points against an offense like that. I haven't bet the game yet. I haven't researched it enough. But it just seems like a lot of points to me, like 10 points against an offense like BYU's.
A&M is another team that's in the conversation for, a playoff spot. Right now, if the playoffs were to start, they're in it. This Missouri team has been in the conversation all year as being one of the better teams in the Southeastern Conference. And it's in Columbia, Missouri. So they're number 22. A&M is number 3. And if you could make the argument, too, that if you look at all the resumes with the top 5 teams in the country, Texas A&M has got the best resume, including Indiana and Ohio State. And if you look at it here, I mean, it's only 6.5 points A&M is favored by. So obviously, they're looking at this as being a pretty close football game here. How do you see this thing?
Like you said, they're flawless. They're 8-0. They got 2 impressive wins on the road too against Notre Dame and LSU. But I think this is going to be the best defense they've faced all season. Missouri's got a great defense, and it's on the road. Missouri's at home. Last time I checked, the entire world is already betting Texas A&M, like they got the next day's newspaper. So that always bothers me if I'm looking to bet a side. Missouri's got a young kid at quarterback who's still behind, green behind the ears here, playing. Man, this is a tough one. Missouri has an elite defense. I mean, their pass defense is strong. Their run defense is strong. A&M turns the ball over a little too much. I mean, if they lose the turnover differential here, they probably don't cover the spread. I think they're ranked like 75th in turnover margin this season. Weak point for, A&M's got a good defense, but their run defense isn't the best. I think they're ranked 50th in opponent yards per rush attempt. So If Missouri can run the ball and limit the turnovers, I kind of like Missouri +7 here.
Yeah, I tell you, that's going to be a hell of a football game. And one last one here for you. And I picked the ones that are close because some of these games like Notre Dame Navy, that's 27.5. I mean, those things are almost impossible, especially with that unconventional offense that Navy runs. But this one here, Oregon and Iowa, and it's in Iowa City here. Number 9, Oregon, and number 20, Iowa. And what really kind of shocks me is Oregon's favored by 6.5 in this game.
Yeah.
And if you looked at the college football rankings, Iowa was given a lot of love by the college football rankings this past Tuesday. They're not ranked in the top 25 in the AP, but in the college playoff, they're up there high in the college playoff. They're still in the Big Ten race. My point is, that's a pretty good defense there. Oregon is one of the favorites to go on and play in the Final Four for the college football playoff. What says you on this game?
I mean, you got a low total. Total's 41.5. Oregon winning 6.5 on the road. I mean, Iowa lost, 20-15 to Indiana, and Indiana's average margin of victory this year is like 35 points. So this is a good football team. I think they lost to Iowa State by a field goal. They've only got 2 losses on the year. This is a team that's won 6 games. And you're giving me almost a touchdown at home. They got a strong offensive line. They're probably going to run the ball on Oregon, whose run defense isn't the best. Oh, I kind of like Iowa plus the points. I kind of like the dog here. I don't.
Me too, man. All right. One last one for you. 76ers. Xander just got a brand new hat. He's got a Sixer hat now, and he's parading around with a Sixer hat. All right. How good are these Sixers in your opinion? Where's the money on this Sixer team this year in the Eastern Conference? Where are the Sixers?
I mean, they started off 4-0, but now they're 5-3. Their point differential has dropped down to +4. I mean, there's probably 10 or 11 teams ahead of them with better odds to win the NBA championship. Can they sneak into playoffs? Maybe. But I'm not expecting them to do big things. I don't want to rain on Philly's parade here, but they still don't have the pieces compared to like some of the other teams, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Bucks, even the Pistons, and the Bulls are pretty good. I mean, surprisingly,
Billy Donovan has done a great job up there.
Yeah, and he was a great coach at Florida. I mean, he's just a great coach all around. It's still like a wait and see process with the Sixers team. Pump your brakes, don't get too excited. And if they start playing some real efficient basketball, some smart basketball, well, then maybe you can, get a little hyped up. But as of right now, I mean, they're not doing that for me. Dan.
I want to know where Jalen Hurts is in the MVP race right now. Who are the top, in your opinion, who are the top guys right now? Where's Hurts? I think it's Stafford, Allen, might be Christian McCaffrey in that conversation. Where's Jalen Hurts in the conversation for MVP?
I mean, he's got to be up there, but you got guys like Josh Allen. You still got Mahomes. You got Stafford. You got Drake May, who's lighting it up. Those guys are probably all ahead of him. Even Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are having better years. He's probably right there with like Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. He's probably in that like third tier. But the first tier has got to be Josh Allen, Mahomes, Drake May, and Stafford, and then Darnold. And I guess you could throw Baker Mayfield. And when Baker gets all his weapons back, I mean, very dangerous Tampa Bay team. And Justin Herbert, I mean, he's played some great football with a banged up offensive line. So I think he's like in the third tier with Jordan Love and guys like that.
That's right. Third tier quarterback. I like it. How has the book gone, my friend?
Everything's doing great. Our book tour is doing great. The college tour is doing great. We're setting something up so I can start going to talk at prisons to try and inspire these guys and motivate them when they do get released, that if they do the right things, good things can happen. And I'm a perfect example of that because I was in the worst prison, one of the worst prisons in America. And, if you got faith in God and, you got a strong family that loves you and you do the right thing and you work you're cool off, good things will happen. So you don't have to go back in there, man.
You got it. My friend, we will catch you next week. You're absolutely awesome. I love going over these games with you. Thank you so much, my friend.
Good luck, guys.
You got it. That is the legendary Philly Godfather. Let's do this. Pay some bills here one more time. Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. And that is they are not third-tier quarterbacks. They are the upper tier when it comes to personal injury. They make sure they defend you and your family like no one else. If you're ever injured on a job, easiest decision you'll ever make, go to forthepeople.com/Big Silz or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Silz or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Silz sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Monday Night Football. Packers and Eagles. What a great weekend this is going to be. College football. And then we have pro football on Sunday. Then we have the closing of week 10. And we'll be with you 2 to 6 on Monday. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Big Z, Big Joe, thank you. As we say, we'll see you on a big game day Monday. Packers and Eagles. Have a great weekend, and we shall see you on the flip side.